Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you guys checking in. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Make sure you hit the like button on your way in. All that kind of good stuff here. I really appreciate you guys checking out the show. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Let me see here. Let me try to get onto my channel here. Hope everybody enjoyed their holiday season, even though it's not technically over until New Year's, but I hope everybody enjoyed their time. I used to say I hope everybody got what they wanted, but as grown adults, if people are still trying to get if people are still trying to get stuff for uh Christmas, then I think that that's a real serious problem. I mean, you know, this whole holiday, the whole holiday season, and making sure that you are in the spirit, in the zone for Christmas. Asking people that question, you ready for Christmas, or holiday spirit and all the kind of talk. To me, it's got to last all year round. To me, it's got to last all year round. And and same thing with Valentine's Day and any other day, right? Um, if you're not in the zone and the spirit, being willing to give and forgive and all the other things that go along with it, I think that that's an issue. And therefore, to me, the holiday spirit means nothing. Uh, what else? Valentine's Day means nothing if you're a mean, ornery, nasty person all year round, and you just can't get it together. And now, what does it mean that you bought me some chocolates, or bought the woman some chocolates, or a diamond necklace, or whatever? What does that? What does any of that mean? The same thing with Christmas, right? If you're a mean, ornery, nasty person all year round, you don't have, your friends abandon you, and nobody wants to call you up, and your kids don't talk to you, and all this other stuff, and then Christmas comes along, and now you want to come along and be this different, nice person, you can go ahead with that. So that's why I try to live my life. I was had a conversation with my friend about this the other day. Like, we're just kind of over the commercialism of it all, and we just want to be nice people all year round and have our family and friends with us, loving us and us loving them all year round. And that's what to me, that's what the holiday spirit should be. And if you're not changing your direction, you're not making corrections in your life, you just do it because you want some gifts, or because it's the time, or because your religious ideology tells you to, because you're Christian and it's telling you to do X, Y, and Z. I'm not with all that. I'm not with all that. So you can keep that. Let me go ahead and greet some people here. Welcome to the show. Thank you guys so much for checking out the show. D Scott, BE7PG. I'm sure that means something. She says, "Yo, look, I think I don't know, D Scott. I don't know if that's a man or woman. I appreciate you coming on, though. Appreciate that. Of course, now the text message is going to start coming in here. Now I'm doing the show. Let's see. Out of sight, out of mind. Good afternoon from North Carolina. Up here in the CT, we just got some snow, and I just had to clean up my driveway. And I'm like, man, I really should be on the beach somewhere. I really, really should be on the beach somewhere, but you know." Rhonda Payne, good afternoon, Dr. Ellen Chat. Appreciate that. Make sure y'all do what Rhonda tells y'all to do. Hit that like button on your way in. Hit the like button on your way in. Let's see. Absolutely nothing. Are you saying you didn't get any snow? Is that what you mean? E Rod 209, North Cali, North Cali. I've only been to LA. That's the only place I've been to in LA, in California. I'm anxious to do some more traveling about that. E Rod says, "Good morning, y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Y'all make sure you hit the like button. I'm getting some. Y'all make sure you hit the like button. All right. Let's see. So I got some videos here I want to play, and then we're going to discuss Psych Hacks video. Anita Psych Hacks videos is Orion Teraband. You know, this always thing is always it's summertime down in Texas. Listen, I was down in Florida. I think I told you guys that. I was down in Florida. Oh my God, I absolutely loved it down there. I was running. I was running. I was down there for 5 days. I was running. I ran 3 days. Just freaking enjoyed it. I got back here, tried to run. The cold weather's all in my lungs. I'm like, oh man, what am I doing? So, and it's cold out here too. What's the temperature? It's 24, and last night it was like 10 or something like that. So it's cold here. So I can appreciate that. It's summertime always down there, right? Make sure you hit the like button. Again, I got some videos I want to show, and Orion Teraband Psych Hacks is the name of his channel. He has done to me a phenomenal video, and it's gonna. I'm not trying to pick on the ladies here today, but you know we are in such a war, and hopefully we can settle this by 2026. And I'm not just saying that as something to say. I really hope that we can really kind of move past a lot of this. I've been trying to build up my other channel here. I did a video the other day trying to build up the other channel because you know there's a lot of things that we have to change about the community. Otherwise, this war and people looking for mates is not going to be solved. It's not going to be solved. Not going to be solved. I'm really jealous. 70 here in North Carolina. Yeah, my best friend lives in North Carolina. He's constantly asking me what the weather is and all that. So, yeah, it's cold up here. All right, so let's start off here. Let's go to my history here. Let's see. Go here to my history. I'm gonna play some videos here. So here we go. It's going to get into the 30s on Monday in Texas. It gets that low down there? Okay. Wow. You done schooled me about something. Well, I think I didn't. I knew it got cold down there. But yeah, you guys can handle it. Bundle up. Bundle up. All right. So let's see here. So we'll do some videos here. A couple of warm-up videos as people trickle in. I really appreciate y'all. As you trickle in, make sure you hit the like button. If you're watching this in the future, make sure that you hit the like button. And here we go. We're gonna do this. I think I've played this video a couple of times, but it's popped up on my feed again. So we'll do it again here. Do this one here. I think we'll do this one.
Man with money is expected to share, but a woman with money is told she doesn't need a man. Same income, totally different rules. Let me explain before you get mad. In our culture, men are taught from day one that if they're not earning, they're failing. If they can't provide, they're not real men. If they don't pick up the check, they're broke or stingy. A man's value is often reduced to his financial output. Now flip the script. When women become successful, we don't expect them to carry anybody. In fact, we celebrate it as a form of freedom. Yes, queen, you're independent. She doesn't need a man. He's expected to provide, but she's expected to escape. Because if we really want partnership, then we need to stop placing all the financial burden on one side while celebrating freedom on the other. Man with money.
Well, she said it, not me. She said it. So there you go. So love to hear your all thoughts. And these are just some warm-up videos I want to play along the way here because I wanted to kind of address a little bit of this independence that's going on is going to be the theme of the show here. And it turns out, a lot of this stuff isn't the men's fault. And in line with what she was saying, um, these conversations continue to go on about being strong, independent. What is the man supposed to do? What is the man supposed to provide? And again, if the men are talking this way, I don't need a woman or X, Y, and Z, then it might be seen as problematic. So can't have it both ways. Can't have it both ways. I think I can remove that there. All right. So this is another video that I came across. And this actually, let me do some other videos here. We'll do some other videos. Um, What is going on with Instagram today? My Instagram is acting silly today. All right, here's a cute one here. This one has nothing to do with the relationships or anything like that, but I like animal videos. I'm gonna play this one here. So uh, and let me mute this music here. Right. So these guys are standing in the way here. This penguin here is all kind of like, yo, y'all get out the way. We need a voiceover for this. You can see these two penguins getting walking together. I think it's kind of cute here. So just imagine if they continue to play the video there and the two penguins end up fighting. So the penguin is just real polite there, and they're just like, So I just thought that was cute. All right, so that's enough of that one there. Let's see. Let's see. We'll play this one here. This one I thought was pretty good here.
My husband what type of woman he would remarry if I died. And he said, I'm not getting remarried. And I said, well, who's going to take care of the kids and the house because you don't cook or clean? And he said, if you die, I get well over $1 million. I will just hire a maid. And the kids don't really need to be looked after at this point. They're old enough to take care of themselves. And I said, well, don't you think you'll get lonely? And he said, I won't be lonely. I'll have well over $1 million and I can just purchase escorts. I said, I'm sorry, what? And he said, I'm not getting remarried. I will just pay for escorts and a maid. I'll pay for a maid because I'm not going to clean the house. I said, oh, okay. And he goes, my only real concern is to make sure that I continue to make enough money to pay for escorts and a maid. Okay.
There's a lot going on here in this video that she had to really process. I don't think that she really understood that men kind of think differently. Um, you know, if you read through the comments aren't showing up here, but I don't know what's going on my Instagram here. But the comments were really kind of going in like, you don't understand. Even like women were like, maybe this is complimentary, and maybe he's just so satisfied with you. No, he still wants a clean home, cook meals, whatever, sexual access, but he simply doesn't want to do that with a woman. He doesn't feel the need to partner up in order to do that with a woman. So I'll let that run again here, but I thought that this was very interesting, and she's processing a lot, like because there is a sense that men who their spouses die or something like that will immediately get divorced, or even sometimes divorced guys will immediately get divorced within a couple of years, where sometimes women will remain single forever. But she's really processing that. Wow, this guy still wants sexual access. He still wants a clean home. The kids will be taken care of, but he's so fed up with women. Maybe this could be what she's processing. So this is probably what she's dealing with and processing here.
So I asked my husband what type of woman he would remarry if I died. And he said, I'm not getting remarried. And I said, well, who's going to take care of the kids and the house because you don't cook or clean? And he said, if you die, I get well over $1 million. I will just hire a maid. And the kids don't really need to be looked after at this point. They're old enough to take care of themselves. And I said, well, don't you think you'll get lonely? And he said, I won't be lonely. I'll have well over $1 million and I can just purchase escorts. I said, I'm sorry, what? And he said, I'm not getting remarried. I will just pay for escorts and a maid. I'll pay for a maid because I'm not going to clean the house. I said, oh, okay. And he goes, my only real concern is to make sure that I continue to make enough money to pay for escorts and a maid. Okay.
Yeah, she's got to process that. That is not processing. As long as I make enough money, I can afford my lifestyle, and I don't have to deal with all the other nonsense there. She is really having a hard time with that here. Some comments have come in here. Let's see. I've been told that I'm too nice. I pay for dates, not an issue because I can afford to, and never want a man to think I am using him. But do the men look at that as being masculine? Do the men look at that as saying that she doesn't need me? And I don't know. I don't know. Listen. I'm going to tell you right now. If a woman insisted on paying for dates, I would feel some type of way about that. I'm just going to be honest. That's me. But I understand also that I'm a Gen Xer, and these the 40s and 30s and 20-year-olds are probably thinking vastly different than I am. And this is what I'm wrestling with, like, what is going on with these, with what, how people are thinking and how they're getting down. It's confusing to me. So I've been told that I'm too nice. Who's told you that you're too nice? The men or your girlfriends, your family members? Who's telling you that you're too nice? Tunnel Runner, Ronell, checking in. Appreciate you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Dr. L in chat, you're welcome, Yoli. Helping a company move so in and out. Okay, helping a company move. So, okay, okay. Let's see. Greetings to you, Miss Plum. She doesn't understand men. This lady clearly did not. She clearly did not. Greetings. Let's see. Why is this topic taking so long to understand? Women, not men, broke the millennial social contract. Call a spade a spade. Salute, Tunnel Runner, Ronell, SP. Let's see. D-name and handle chat. Peace to you. Everyone, I hope everyone's holidays was good. Let's see. Hope everybody's holidays was good. Y'all make sure you hit the like that button. Yes, we can. Okay. Okay. I understand where he's coming from. I think she expected him to express some grief over missing her. He's like, nah, I'm good. He probably will mourn, he'll probably cry, he'll probably miss her. But when he's scrolling through the Instagrams or whatever to try to get some attention, it'll go away pretty quickly. But I do think he genuinely will miss her. And he probably, you get used to a certain way. Here's one thing about it, right? You get used to a certain way. Having been married before, I can attest to this, right? You get used to living a certain way. With you grow with a person. You grow with a person. Now you got to come in and figure out a new person, get them acclimated to you, get acclimated to them. And he's like, no, I'm good with that. I got kids. The main purpose of getting married, I got kids. I got a home. I got a warm bed. What do I need to get used to somebody else for? And this is the struggle that I think a lot of people, I would say men, I think it's definitely men. I think a lot of women are struggling with that too, right? They've got their careers now, like, I'm good. I'm good. I'll just call somebody over from time to time, knock the dust off, and we'll keep it pushing. He has no plans on replacing her, so she should feel good about that. And that's what was said in some of those comments, is that she should feel good about that. No plans to replace you. I mean, everything is good. I got a good life. I don't need for anything and don't want anything and all that. So he still needs love, companionship, household maintenance, and he'll pay for those needs to be fulfilled. Yeah, he's going to get them done. He's going to get them done. Why did she even ask? Ladies ask that all the time. What would you do without me? And what would you do if I wasn't here? And I always ask that question. I'm asked that question all the time. Let's see. Men go where they are needed and appreciated, not cared for or taken advantage of. But I am 54. Yeah, listen. I'm 52, and I can attest to that. Listen, we want to go where we're appreciated, and it's particularly at this age. I would assume that most of my audience is in their late 40s, 50s, or so, and we just. I'm good. I'm good at 50. I'm really am good at 52. I'm good. And at 54, I'm good. Yes, that is masculine. If she doesn't need me, then keep moving. Yeah, men want to be needed, need to be needed. Yeah, let's see. The men, because I offered to pay. The men saying you're too nice because I offered to pay doesn't mean that they allow me to pay, but I'm not masculine. LOL. Very much a girly girl. I always appreciate being offered. It shows me nice. It shows me that you're nice or whatever. So I do appreciate that. He will move on quickly with that kind of money. I don't think he's going to get married though. I think he's good. I mean, I think he's good. I think he's good at this particular point. I think that guy is good. He's got his family, he's got his kids, probably career, making sure he's got enough money coming in. And what do I need? More headaches and pay for somebody else and all the emotional and financial undertaking for all that. So this right here, Dr. He's done with he's done all that with her and is choosing not to do it with someone else. It's difficult. It's difficult to get into a headspace where you want to start entangling your life with somebody else. It's difficult to do that. It's difficult to mentally come to that place. And that's place that I'm struggling with now. I've redesigned my kids' room. I'm getting settled. I'm still planning to travel. And it's hard to say to myself, okay, I'm going to do something differently. Okay, I'm going to move in a different direction. Okay, I'm going to include somebody else in my life and ask their opinion and be mindful of them. And a friend of mine, Dr. B, who's been on the show before, he did a video the other day asking men, when was the last time you sacrificed for your wife? I'm like, oh. Right, because it's been so long, right? So now you gotta, you losing sleep or getting out the bed, or now it's, I got up out the bed anytime I wanted to, or to as I mentioned, it snowed. So the sacrifice, like for me, would have been if I had a girl here and I got to sacrifice to get out the bed to make sure that they can get out earlier because I don't have to go to work. I mean, it's what's today? Saturday, right? Sometimes I don't even know what day it is. So therefore, right, what do I need to do all this for? What do I need to sacrifice for? And to incorporate that, to get out the bed early, to make somebody else a hot chocolate, or to make sure that they can pull out of their driveway when it snows, or whatever else it is. And this is a selfishness that can creep in. It's just the truth. It is a selfishness that can creep in, and you have to be ready to give up that level of selfishness. So I think that this particular guy in that video that we played, he said, listen, I've sacrificed my children, I've sacrificed for you, and I will continue to do so as long as we, it sounds to me like he's going to honor his vows. But now I've done my duty, done my fulfillment, and I'm going to sacrifice for somebody else. I got to get to know somebody else. Yeah, I'm good with all that. He's good with all that. He would probably miss her, but he would be able to process everything. Yeah. Absolutely. I don't understand why she's surprised by his response. That's her husband. When did she know he would respond to that question? Sometimes they ask, sometimes they ask some funny questions. It's pretty narcissistic of her to want his life to move on, not to want to move on without her. Yeah. Women ask that question all the time. They want to know that they're missed. They want to know that it's a way of asking, how deeply would you miss me, and how much of an impact have I made on your life? Would you be able to make it out without me? I think a lot of times women want to know that you can't make it without them, right? You're holding they are the glue that's holding your life together. And for some women they are, and for some men they are for their women. But people figure it out. And this guy obviously had a plan. Knock the dust off. Yeah. That's what ladies want. They just want somebody to come over every now and then, right? That's what y'all. I will repeat what y'all say. Passport brothers for the win. I'll just get into another video here. Let's see. Which one did I want to show here? Which one is this one? I think it's the. All right, this one I gotta mute here. I just to the stage, and I gotta mute this one here, but it's pretty good. Just we're gonna read through it here. If men don't lower their standards soon, they'll die alone, benching 405, six-pack abs, a great mental health, paying only their own bills, a savings account, being happy with their height, and watching sports without getting nagged. They better chill. Obviously, this is sarcasm. So this is saying that if men don't get it together, they'll die happy, alone, in shape, without being nagged. So get it together, guys, so you don't have to die that way. All right, let's see here. Let's play this one here. This one's going to become important here.
Of 50% of women in the West. Watch this.
Over 50% of women over 40 are on antidepressants. Let that sink in. Half of an entire generation of women medicated just to cope with life. And no, this is not just about a chemical imbalance. It's about what's really happening to women.
I've waited for my husband for so many years, and I'm just getting mad and I'm about to turn 40. There's a lot of stress on me right now.
So a lot of my single mom friends have been like, oh, I'm so depressed. And I'm like, well, have you gotten laid recently? And they're like, well, no. And I'm like, well, bingo.
I'm 38 years old. I've never been married. I've never had children. I have 3 cats in my house.
I'll be 41 next week. And yeah, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to really tell you the shit. So after the age of basically like 32, that is when you're just going to date people that are coming off of divorce.
I am 50 years old and I have never been married and I don't have kids. And I know that some people think that is a red flag.
I'm 45 and child-free and I regret not having children.
No, I'm not the only person that feels this way. I'm turning 40 next year and I'm single with no children.
You ever have those days at work where you wish you would have married that attorney when you were 27 years old for his children?
Anybody else struggling with dating after their 40s?
Are there any men left out there in this entire universe that prefers a woman in her 40s with a natural body?
No one tells you just how lonely your 40s can be.
I do get very triggered around going to my brother's at Christmas and all the kids being there and I'm the only single person there. And I've started feeling, I mean, he doesn't know this, but I feel I can't help it. And it brings me shame.
Is this the future of 50% of women in the West? Watch this.
Over 50% of women.
All right, so that's enough of that. So that's what some ladies are dealing with here. It's obviously not all ladies, but it is certainly what some ladies are dealing with as they continue on the strong independent narrative and streak and all that kind of stuff. So let's see. Get some more comments here. I've offered to pay for a date, but the men will end up paying. Yeah, it's the offer that counts. I think he will mourn the loss for her, sure, but she asked a question and gave an honest answer that pretty much what I would have said. Yeah, I think a lot of guys are saying that now. In Colombia, with the wife enjoying the holidays. Yes, brother. Yeah, man. I was down in Colombia, man. I have to hook up with you, man, because I was down there and I want to go back, but I gotta finish up my I gotta finish up some stuff with some attorneys. But definitely send me an email, man. I'd like to pick your brain about that. And how you feel about being down there? I mean, Trump is looking at Venezuela, which would probably cause some Venezuelans to spill over into Colombia. And he's also talking about Colombia. It's just this administration, man. I am not, I am not with what they are doing. If women offer to pay, don't be surprised when he accepts or pay. Eventually, they're gonna accept. Eventually, they are. Y'all make sure you hit the like button. Life in your terms, salute, brother. It gets to a point in life where for men with established legacy where they only value sex and companionship without drama. Listen, I think we're all coming to that. I think we're all coming to that. A lot of men are coming to that. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of drama that goes on behind the lines here, behind the scenes, and it's so unnecessary. There's one thing I've learned in my years: never ask the question that you aren't prepared to hear the answer to. Man, that if we could bottle that and make sure that every man understood that, everybody understood that is a core principle. If you don't want to hear the answer, don't ask the question. If you think that this answer could go sideways, could go left, don't even think about asking the question. Let's see that part. From her talking, I feel she wants to be distraught and just wants to be through. Yeah. What's up, Miss Independent? Thank you so much for joining. Asp Lit Gem 56. She sees the hiring of escorts as a worry because she never considered that he's willing to utilize that option. I think a lot of people are going to be willing to utilize that option. I think a lot of men are going to be utilizing that option. Thank you so much for that $4.99. I really, really appreciate it. If anybody else wants to send anything, make sure you can always do the super chats, or you can send it directly to my Cash App and or Venmo. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. I do think that in the future, people are going to be joining up for that. Let's see. A Peaceful Life, man. I was actually going to play your video, play a portion of your video, man. I don't know if you're still here, but I may actually play a portion of your video that you did the other day. Appreciate you joining in. This is a great topic. Once a man has established legacy, preserving peace becomes more important in relationships. Absolutely. Her wanting to control his emotions from grave is sickening. I don't know about that. She just wants to know she's missed. You know, we read a lot into that. I think that she just wants to know, how are you going to make it without me? You know, because I'm such a wonderful woman. I got it all together. I keep your house together. And she wants to know how is he going to continue on without her? That's what I think that the impetus of the question was. I think that's what she was asking. Let's see. That's exactly what she was looking for. Peaceful life. They want to believe that they are the best thing that's ever happened to you, or they're the most important thing. Yeah, that's what they want to believe. That's what they want to believe, I should say. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. There are too many women chronically. I guess I'll pass. Alone with assets in shape, well fed, surrounded by family and friends, having a fulfilled life with no woman. Uh, yeah, I mean, boat anchor around. Okay. In the suburbs, then near all the white girls are on Xanax, Adderall, antidepressants, and 14 haven't stopped since birth control as well. Yeah, this is a problem. This is the problem. Okay, Venezuelan chicks from her personal favorites. Okay, okay. Okay, okay. Too much drama, unnecessary. All right, let's play. Here's an ungrateful lady here. Here's an ungrateful lady who and this is we talk about drama. Here's one about drama here, and this is what guys don't want to deal with. So this says he said he planned a romantic evening away, but all it was a sunset dolphin cruise. She missed the eye there. So she's taking pictures of herself, and whether people are doing this for likes and clicks and all that, we'll never know. But it's truly, truly disgusting that you would put this out there as if this man trying to put in some type of effort is seen as dusty, and this is not what she want to do. And you wonder why guys don't want to deal with this.
All it was a sunset and a dolphin cruise. Oh, okay. All right. Tell him take me next time.
All right, that's enough of that. I don't know what this brother's on. He said, "Tell him to take me next time." I'm not volunteering for it, but I do understand his point. I do understand his point. So I'm trying to hook you up with a nice dolphin cruise or whatever.
All it was a.
So yeah, I don't know. These people, they're on something else. And here's some more drama here. Here's some more drama. Here's some nice looking ladies. Oro. I don't know if this is a podcast or what, but this is obviously a skit. And I'm gonna have to pause this here. I think there's music playing, but I'm gonna have to pause this to read it to you guys. Yeah, there's so they're getting up and leaving here. So I gotta mute the sound here. So the guy's asking when you gonna cook for me. So they're so sick of it, they get up and leave. Oh, you big money. So I guess when a guy says, "Oh, you big money," they get up and leave. Pay for it. I'll give you the money later. I can see that one. I could see that one being a turnoff. Can I come over? Right? And guys are asking that because we ladies are braggadociously talking about how they give it up, and how they got friends with benefits and people coming over knocking the dust off, and they're making videos about that, and you're doing it for other people, so they want to know if they can participate. Oyo is the name of the restaurant there. Send me a pic because that's not on IG. And listen, I've done that. I'm going to tell you right now, I've done that. I've done that. And you put up all these pictures, right? And guys want to know we're special. I want to know I'm special, right? So you put up a picture for the world to see. Well, show me something that nobody else has seen. I'm not talking about nudes or anything like that, but I want to know that I'm special. And if I'm not, okay. But that's a turn off. You're going to make you leave? Okay. I see what it is. That's not what I want. Hit this one. So they get up and leave. Oh, you traveling again? So this is obviously a turn off to the to the ladies. You traveling again when a guy says that, because it's not it. I guess the guy is looking to save money, and you're not with me, but you're on the road again. It's a turn off to guys. And it just starts all over again there. You're going to cook for me. I'll let them run in the background for a little bit here. Let's see. Y'all make sure you hit the like button. Indigo Flow, what's up? Appreciate you. Salute. Finance bros are, yeah. Because listen, those finance brothers, man, they put in, 10, 12, 15-hour days, man. They don't have time to be coming home dealing with drama, unnecessary drama. Another thing is he makes it sound that he will easily replace her. She's too focused on the surface. Y'all still on that one. Okay. Extremely disgusting. Okay. Her, how will you ever live without me in my greatness? Him, higher. Okay, for the cheap, did you really think my question through before asking? Maybe she should practice humility. Listen, these people, man, they don't care about any of that, man. Let's see. All right, so that's that. And I think that's the last video here. A Peaceful Life had put up a video. I'm going to play just a few minutes of his particular video to try to give some semblance to what is going on here. Let's see. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button here. All right, so this is a little bit of a Peaceful Life video here, and this is a PNC fatigue. Why more men will choose bachelor life in 2026. So we'll put this one on screen here. Play a few minutes of this. Make sure you go over to his channel, give him a like there.
And one of the problems I have with many content creators, whether it be in the red pill space or in any of this dating relationship conversation, is a conversation is always lopsided in terms of men. We understand we have to be skilled, we have to make money, we have to be successful, we have to improve our emotional IQ in terms of emotional discipline, productive. Those things are stress. Work out, go to the gym, stay in shape, be smart, make decisions. All these things we talk about in our spaces about self-improvement and being better. The problem that I have with
So what I want to highlight here, and what I thought was really important, is he said he's talking about the men's space, and we are advocating that men take care of themselves, do better, improve. When the woman talked about well, I think it was the first video I played, where she's talking about when a woman gets on her game, has the bag, no one's expecting anything of her. But when a guy has it, he's expected to pay for himself, pay for dates, pay for his family, come out the pocket and do whatever. And so we are advocating for that in this particular space. This is what we're advocating for, that men take care of themselves, men become the best version of themselves. We're advocating for that. So, what and people are always critiquing this quote unquote manosphere space because they're saying that it's just a bunch of misogynists and all that kind of stuff. There certainly is too much of it, but there's also a grand segment of us telling us that we need to improve. And when men and there's this other idea that men shouldn't be judged by how much money they make or how much whatever. And I just think that's absolute garbage. Men have always been judged on either how much money they make or how productive they are. What can you contribute to the community? And if a man is lacking in any of these things, if he's not a provider, he's not a protector, he's not getting out the bed in the morning, he's not able to fix anything around the house, this is the measure that what makes a man. And so we are stressing that above everything else. So again, what that guy said in the video that you guys keep talking about here is I've done all this stuff. I've provided for my family. I've taken care of my kids. I've taken care of you. And now I want to, quote unquote, kind of be selfish. But I've done the work. I've done the work. Peaceful Life is a retired police officer. He's done the work. I myself have done the work, right? So we've done it. We're advocating for this. We're trying to get other men to advocate for that. But one of the things that we're not getting is we're not getting this reciprocal return from some of the ladies that we're meeting in our lives. It's obviously not all ladies, and it's obviously not all men. But this is what we're running into too much of the time. Too much of the time is that, there's this beat down. We're not good enough. We plan a cruise. We plan a dolphin cruise, and it's not good enough. But yet, and then if we ask for, some type of reciprocation, or you're weak, why can't you do it? Or we don't want to plan dates because we don't want to be laughed at or thought as corny or lame or whatever. And this is the frustration that men are running into day by day. This is the frustration that we're running into day by day. Quality cats are always improving themselves. Absolutely. Absolutely. What's today's topic? Today's topic is men are not the problem. Let's see. Well, he's right. Pandering equals money. All these things men have to do, and it's not enough. But when you flip the genders, they only have to earn money. Right. Exactly. Let's see. Oh, I appreciate that, Mike David. I don't know about the greatest OG, but I'm trying to, man. I'm trying to. I appreciate that. That's why we don't go off the world's metrics. Good men versus high value men. Yeah, absolutely. The halo effect. That misandrous belief that the exceptional men are just an average woman. It's delusional grandeur. Absolutely. Let's continue on to Peaceful Life here. Just a couple more minutes of this, then we'll get to the main
A
event.
lot of these guys, especially, is we don't talk about what are the developments.
If you're not familiar with this person, I played him before. He's been making the rounds in the manosphere. People have been really kind of crucifying this guy. His name is Scott Galloway, and he's trying to get men to improve themselves, but he's trying to get men to improve themselves in order to help women out. He's trying to, he's going about it in a nice way, trying not to upset women as he tells men that they need to do better, and trying to get women to accept that men need to do better. So this is a guy, Scott Galloway, wrote a book. I don't plan to read the book. And he's been on Oprah, and he's been just making his rounds on different podcasts and etc. So
What are the values? What are the skills that are being taught on the other side? Are women better? And the question, the answer is no. Do women understand taught on the other side?
So this is a good picture here. This is Scott Galloway, doesn't want to talk about the unfair marriage laws and family court laws or wholeflation, right? So this is what we're talking about here, right? So all these different people who have become something in and of themselves. You look at Tom Brady up here, you look at Steph Curry, you look at Brad Pitt, you look at Tyrese, Will Smith, Kevin Costner, right? These men have all done something, and whatever they've done in their life doesn't seem to have been good enough. It doesn't seem to have been good enough. And this is going to become very, very apparent when we get to the main event. So this is what Scott Galloway wants guys to man up, average men. Scott Galloway himself is a millionaire. He teaches at NYU, business guy. So he's obviously done enough, but he's trying to get average men to do more. And what is it that we get? What is it? Why should a man sign up for this type of thing if they're going to get taken to the ringer in divorce court or child support, etc.?
Are women better? And the question, the answer is no. Do women understand male psychology? Do the women, you see a podcast, you say, well, why aren't these women having conversations about how to pour into a man, how to add value to a man's life, how to maintain a happy home, how to put a smile on a man's face, how you should treat a man in a relationship if you want to be in a long-term relationship with a man? What do men like? Male psychology, the values that men value in relationships. That's the problem. The problem is that it's almost a default setting that in this culture that they believe that women are automatically deserving of relationships just from being born with female sex organ and being useful for sex. What about the other skill set? See, women of the past, and I'm not saying all of them, if you can go back years, I wasn't around, but if you look at the literature and you study the data and you even listen to the psychology of the older women, you'd understand that women of the past understood that they have to be bigger than their box, than what they bring to the table with their sexuality. They understand that after the sex is over, you have to be valuable to a man. And that's why I call it, we have an epidemic of what I call PNC fatigue, post-nut clarity fatigue. Because when a man realizes that he's just mated or had sex with an empty vessel, he starts doing a calculation in his mind. He starts calculating. He starts counting. He starts doing the math and he listens to her, and all she talks about is me. Like you saw the conversation with Andrew.
Before he gets on with that,
Tony
this is what we're trying to say here. This is what the video about the guy who was asked about would he get married again if his wife passed. Ladies have to understand you have to provide something, and that was understood years ago. And if you're not providing anything besides sex, once the sex is over, this is what he means by post-nut clarity. I understand it's kind of whatever, but this is what he's saying. Once the session is over, what is it that you provide? What is it that you provide? And we know what guys provide. Again, protection, provision, et cetera, all the other things that we always talk about. But ladies are now braggadociously saying, I don't provide anything else. And you got to take care of me. And you got to love me. And oh yeah, but when I take you on a boat cruise or on a dolphin cruise, it's seen as weak and lame and corny and all this kind of stuff. And so so you want to know why guys are saying, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to get married anymore. I'm not going to do whatever. This is why they're choosing to be different and choosing to say, I'm going to go a different way. And I'm just going to be happy with hiring escorts and hiring a maid. And so ladies have to compete. You have to compete with that. And ladies of a 4-year generation gone by have understood that they got to stand out somehow. Their cooking skills, their cleaning skills, their nurturing skills, their non-combative skills, their non-combative, their appeasement skills, their agreeableness was all something that was a benefit. And now a lot of them have adopted masculine qualities that have completely turned men off. Appreciate that, Dr. Thunder. Appreciate you liking it and welcome. Let's see here. Challenging men to do better for the other gender's sake isn't helping men because that's appeasing, right? A Peaceful Life was on my panel before. Absolutely, he was. Yep. Let's see. If government safety nets were taken away, if government safety nets were taken away, women seeking men would go from optional to imperative for survival. Well, that's what frustrates a lot of men is this whole thing has been propped up. And we'll see what's going to happen, in a few years when, AI continues to take more jobs. We'll see how it goes. Couple more minutes of this.
When he asked her, well, I hear what you're saying about what men are supposed to do and these traditional expectations and obligations of men. But what is the equivalent of that on the women's side? And she can't tell him. She goes back into her shame and telling him that, well, men of the past didn't ask what women bring to the table or what they deserve, because he understands that what's going on today is I call default value by having a female mating organ, which billions of women around the world all have vaginas. I'm sorry, that's all they have. They all have it. And we ended up with situations where men are dealing with so many empty vessels, women that don't bring anything but irritation. They have no skills. They don't understand men's psychology because they're bought into this gender feminist ideology that men and women are the same. Men and women have unique qualities about ourselves, and we bring different values to the table that make relationships work. The problem is we're keep pushing for the men to be better at understanding women. We have so many channels on here, from the pickup artists to the relationship coach to the psychologists to all of the therapists in the space, teaching about female nature, female psychology, what women want. That's automatically canceled out if the women are not learning male psychology, how to exist with men, how to get along with men, how to be respectful of men, how not to unintentionally or intentionally emasculate men, because a disrespected man is a low performing man. And what women don't understand, by disrespecting your man, you have basically shot your own self in the foot in terms of the wealth of that house, the productivity of that house. Because if you disrespect and emasculate a man, he's only going to do the minimum is required till he gets rid of your ass. Maybe he'll perform a little bit for his kids if he has kids in the house, but now you're going to get the minimum standard of a man, as opposed to a woman that pours into her man. That's the one who's going to get the easy, soft life. The one who I put an example of Avery Johnson and his wife, who met years ago when he was going through situations, when he was trying to make an NBA team. A lot of people understand when people are going through that type of professional life, sometimes you're broke. You don't get in these 10-day contracts. There's no guarantees. You could be unemployed. You could be out of a job. You could be like, some guy send you to Europe or something like that. I mean, like really, it's some hard times until you get, and then most of these guys don't get secure in their money until they get that second contract or third contract. But anyhow, moving on from there, it's this idea that relationships are some welfare program or some poverty alleviation program or some one-sided affair, that only men are supposed to always be better for women. Women are supposed to do for women. Men are always supposed to be this for women, that for women. And this is like beating a dead horse, because we're not talking about why women need to be better. Women need to do better. And you cannot, if you cannot survive PNC, then what is the value? Because a man's going to calculate, a man with any self-esteem is going to do the math, he's going to do the calculation, he's going to say to himself, what am I getting here? Am I getting something that pours into me, adds value to my life, improves my life, or am I getting another bill? And nobody wants a higher electric bill. Because I'm telling you right now, when them bowls go empty, when you've drained all that poison out of you, everything looks like responsibility. If you're not having an emotional connection, or a woman's not pouring into you and you don't feel her value, she's going to feel like a burden. Because then you're going to say, that's why I made a video about loads and empty vessels and having just liabilities lying around the house.
All right, we're going to leave it off right there. Go over to Peaceful Life's channel, continue to watching the video. Make sure you give him a like for that particular video. And I want to get to the main event for the evening here. I do appreciate what you're saying there, Virginia Woolf. There have always been good, kind, supportive women available. These women were used, abused, and discarded. Certainly not all of them, but I don't make the argument that men haven't been wrong or done things that have turned women off. I'm not going to make that argument. But I think that both of us got to do something. And if there's more men today, who are looking for wives and can't seem to find them, then those good women have to come out the corners, come out of hiding, and present themselves and say something loudly and clearly against this ghetto ratchet behavior that is going on, that we are all dealing with. So that would be my retort to that. But I don't discard the fact that there's been some good women out there who've gotten used and gotten burned. I'm not gonna be one who's gonna say that. Greetings to you, High Vibe. I do appreciate this from Mrs. Plum. They believe that that's what men are supposed to do for them. They don't think that they should do anything in return for what the man does for them. Yeah, so I appreciate you saying that, and we got to change that. If you're going to be in a relationship, it's got to be a two-way street. So, Indigo Flow, women dictate to men that they're supposed to provide and protect so much that they could say it in their sleep. What of their roles? Let's start with nurture and nourish, since we're doing alliteration. Let's see here. They do what they do intentionally. That's the thing. Okay. You guys are going on here. Let's see. All right. The abuse color purple narrative is always played. Most single women today have disrespected their way to a single life, rarely abuse. Yeah. The whole abuse thing is always interesting. Of course, my time in law enforcement, of course, Peaceful Life can probably talk about that as well. It goes both ways. People don't always leave for that. The abuse narrative is overplayed, in my opinion. Welcome, October. All right, let's get to the main event here. This was sent to me by my bestie here, Anita, and we're gonna play that here. And this is from let's see here. This is from Orion Teraband. It's a 10-minute video. I'm gonna try to play the whole thing here. He's pretty good about letting people play his stuff. Psych hacks. So I thought this was a really, really good video. Let's see here. Y'all make sure you hit the like button here. Hit the like button. All right, so this is Orion Teraband. And this is his video here called Women Walking Away, Are Men to Blame? Because women are saying that they are fed up with men, I guess. And is this the right one? Is this the right one? Or is this one? Yeah, this one. So they're fed up with men, and so they're walking away. Men said SYSBM, save yourself, black men. Men said men going their own way. So now women are saying, we're going to walk away too. We're going to walk away too. So this is him. This is Orion Taraban addressing this. He's got almost 1 million followers. Make sure you go over to his channel, give him a like. Hit the like button right there. And we'll play this here. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit here because
I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is Psychax, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic for today's short talk is women walking away. So there's been some...
Hold on, y'all. Come on now. Hit the like button. Come on now. We got 47 people here. This is what makes the channel go and grow. Hit the like button. It would be nice if you guys sent me a Cash App or something else, but if you, the minimum you can do is hit the like button. If you're sitting here, hit the like button. Hit the like button. I don't think men are going to be bothered by this. Probably right.
Some chatter on the interwebs recently indicating that women are increasingly walking away from relationships with men. And these posts and articles generally point to the fact that women regularly report lower relationship satisfaction than men do as the reason behind that exodus. Of course, there are all kinds of explanations for this perceived trend in the data. Some believe that long-term relationships fundamentally prioritize men's desires over women's. Some point to inequity.
I don't know how anybody can ever say that with a straight face, that men's relationships, coupled relationship will prioritize a man's relationships. I don't understand how they could say that. Stop running hit the like button. Yeah, y'all hit the like button. Appreciate that, Indigo Flow. Come on now. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Come on now. Come on now. After a while, it starts to become disrespectful. I mean, seriously, hit the like button, right? We want a channel to grow, get this information out there. If you're going to sit here, just hit the like button.
Housework splits, or poor communication, or uncompensated emotional labor, or grief related to unmet emotional needs. Reading these explanations, you might wonder if women get anything out of relating to men. They give so much, they get so little, and all of their sacrifices are for the benefit of the unfair sex. And on the surface, this sounds pretty convincing. Like, we don't want one gender, whether it is men or women, to be significantly and consistently less satisfied with relationships than the other. Like, that's going to create some problems, not least of which being that fewer and fewer relationships will be transacted, which is actually what we're already seeing. So this is a serious complaint. But I decided to look into this a little bit more first. As a clinician, it is sometimes essential to get information from multiple sources. For instance, in identifying ADHD in children, a psychologist needs evidence to confirm the diagnosis from two independent sources, like his parents at home and his teachers at school. If the child is only acting up at home, it could be that the problem actually lies with the home environment or the parenting style and not with the child, him or herself. On the other hand, if the same issue appears across multiple contexts, we can be more confident in diagnosing an individual problem.
This is important here. What he just laid out here. If a child in this particular scenario is only acting up at school or at home, or maybe when they go to an after school program, or you pick the place, then you want to see how they're acting in other places. And this is very important when it comes to male-female relationships and dynamics. If you can respect, and this is what Kevin Samuel said and other people are saying, if you can respect your boss, but you can't come home and respect your husband, then there's an issue. If you can respect your dad and you can't come home and respect your husband, granted, if he's doing everything that should be done as a husband, right? So this is where we're coming at this at. So in this scenario, he's going to lay out here is that we want to look at if women are not satisfied in romantic relationships, what are the relationships like with their friends? What are the relationships like at work? What are the relationships like in other social settings, professional settings? That's what they want to take a look at. And this is what he's bringing up here. Excellent point that he's narrating here. Hit the like button, y'all.
And this, of course, is very important to do with children, as they cannot consent to their own treatment and may end up being medicated against their will as a result of being inconvenient to a particular adult. So let's apply this logic to the problem of women's dissatisfaction in relationships. It would certainly be damning if we found evidence that women reported significantly more satisfaction in other domains of their lives. So what about work? If women are unsatisfied in their relationships, then maybe they find satisfaction in their careers. And you know what? While the literature isn't unanimous, it turns out that women report lower job satisfaction than men do. Well, that's interesting. And of course, there are all kinds of interpretations for that finding: the gender pay gap, sexist management policies, patriarchal organizational structures, et cetera, et cetera. Well, that sounds concerning. Are men keeping women down at work just like they're keeping women down at home? Geez, men, get a hobby. But then I looked into that. According to an article in Labor Economics, forthrightly titled, "Do Women Prefer Female Bosses?" women report significantly lower job satisfaction when working under another woman compared to working under a man.
This is important. What not only what he's saying, but what October is saying as well. I think they're more inclined to be agreeable to their boss because they get immediate desired outcome, i.e., their paycheck. Isn't that an immediate desirable income or immediate desired outcome at home? Hugs, kisses, taken care of, gas being put in your car, taken out for dinners on the weekends. I mean, is it not the same thing? I'm just saying. So I'm going to rewind a couple of seconds here about his brother.
Economics, forthrightly titled, "Do Women Prefer Female Bosses?" women report significantly lower job satisfaction when working under another woman compared to working under a man. Men's reported job satisfaction.
Now, I worked in a very heavily male-dominated space, but all the female cops would always say, "We'd rather have a male supervisor." They all said that. Just saying.
On the other hand, was unrelated to the gender of his supervisor. So there's that. And I've already debunked the gender pay gap in another episode. So check that out if you need a refresher. Okay. Well, yeah, that's just two places, right? Maybe outside of their jobs and outside of their relationships, women are more content. But it turns out that women have significantly higher rates of anxiety and depression relative to men. They're also over twice as likely to be on a psychiatric medication than men are. But of course, there are explanations for that as well. It's not that women actually have higher rates of mental illness than men do. Women are just better at asking for help than men are. They're more open with their feelings than men are. They value self-development more than men do, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, if that were correct, it would indicate that men are a wildly underserved population. And this would merit a substantial and immediate social action to help men, given they apparently receive a fraction of the treatment for presumably comparable rates of illness. But suffice it to say, that social movement does not appear to be forthcoming. Introducing my innovative first novel, Starry Night.
Let's see here. I've worked under women most of my career. Can't say it's been fun. Women are catty as heck. Yeah. Women can be mean-spirited. If you pretend to be Jared Jackson, give a 60-second monologue, they'll hit the like button. Maybe I should do more monologues. 42 people, 52 people, 42 likes. We're doing better. Come on, let's get up to 50 likes here. Let's get up to 50 likes. Dr. L, respect is earned. Men want it handed to them on a platter. We need to be able to trust you before we allow you to lead. We will allow you to lead when we feel safe. I think that's an interesting comment, and thank you for that. Why are you with men that you don't respect? I can't understand that. That's something that you ladies got to figure out. Why are you giving your time, attention, your bodies to men that you don't respect? And again, I'm talking about long-term relationships where this type of thing was once there. And for some reason, it's gone away. So if you've got kids with this guy, you've got a relationship with this guy, he's living with you, you're living with him, living together, however you want to say it, and you're not supporting him, you're not respecting him, it's crazy work. It's crazy work. We need to be able to trust you before we allow you to lead. I don't understand why you're dealing with these type of men. I can't understand it. I can't understand that. So again, I'm not talking about a guy you met. We're talking about 2 or 3 dates in. Of course, guys got to earn some things there. But giving people kids, moving in with them, letting them drive your car, all this other kind of behavior to me is not sound. It's not sound behavior. Let's just call it what it is. It's not sound behavior. It sounds silly when we hear people saying this, because there's good men out there who can lead. I was listening to another YouTuber today, Sergeant Willie P. I was listening to him today. He was talking about this exact thing, right? I mean, who's going to take control, right? Do Do Black women in particular, I mean, obviously this channel is open to everyone, but do Black women actually have a respect for Black men and their competence and their ability to get things done? I think that's the first question, period. That's got to be the first question that's got to be answered. Do you look at your brothers, your cousins, your uncles, your fathers, stepfathers, people within your close vicinity and say that these people can get the job done? Because that's going to paint the picture about how you enter into romantic relationships. And if you can't, if you're around people, if the men in your life are not competent, that's going to paint how you look at other people and determine whether they're competent. And to be around people who you don't think are competent and give them your body, give them your time, your attention, your phone number, this and that, and then allow them to, to procreate, it's just wild work. It's just wild. It's wild to me. And that's something that's got to be stopped. Somebody brought up talking about promiscuity in the chat before. If the whole thing is you just want to have your clock cleaned and this and that, then stop trying to we would say wife those dudes, but stop trying to husband those dudes who are incompetent. If you just want to, these guys who are formerly incarcerated and this and that, no shade to anybody, like that. But these guys aren't going anywhere in life. That's probably a better way to put it. These people are not going anywhere better in life, not trying to better themselves and go anywhere in life. But yet you just find them so sexy because of their swag, because of their bravado, because of whatever. If you want to sleep with them, okay, whatever. But why are you procreating with them? Why are you expecting them to be something that they're not? Now you're going to put them into these leadership roles and then dog men out or talk about men who you think can't get things done, or just assume that because they're a male they can't get things done. That type of thinking baffles me. And it baffles, I think, every other man who is competent. Why would you think I can't get it done? And why are you giving yourself to a man who can't get it done? Roy says, you definitely want a woman who appreciates your hard work and gets on your program, and women overseas appreciate the little things that you do. Like taking them on dolphin trips. Let's see here. They never ask, are you worthy of a man of substance leading you? Men shouldn't be leading unworthy women. Men shouldn't be leading unworthy women, and women shouldn't be following unworthy men. What's up, Minister Misty? The way that they want that security of a guy being home, but still want to lead a single life and go out and cheat from time to time. Well, hopefully not. You have never respected not one adult Black male man in any capacity. You don't allow a leader to lead, you follow him and don't get in his way. There's some truth to that, right? I mean, the first couple of dates, a man ought to show some competence, right? Whether it's making the directions, making the arrangements, how we're going to pick each other up, or we're going to see each other at, right? Showing some leadership and some competence. There's the respect earned thing, sure, but every leadership style is different and not one that you can imagine. So don't just give the man one chance and then write them off. And this is what's going on here, right? And that was the video that I played before, right? This guy says one thing, oh, let me see a picture that that nobody else can see. Why would you write a man off for that? I mean, and again, they're writing people off because because being in a relationship isn't a necessity, number one. And number two, survival necessity, I'm saying. And number two is because their DMs are flooded. So I'll just deal with somebody else. But you're always going to be dealing with that. And this is the point of what this brother Ryan Taraban is talking about here, is this idea you don't have to deal with anyone. You can just move on, and you're never satisfied in any place. You're never satisfied. Not all of the women at all times, but this lack of satisfaction is driving us further and further apart. I just don't understand why you would give a guy, because he wants to see a picture of you that nobody else can see, why that would be such a red flag. I just don't understand that. Women need to start asking about their own qualifications to be in a relationship. Well, there's definitely truth to that. There's definitely truth to that. Let's see here. Let me fast forward to he's got a book here. I want to get through this here. I'll get back to him.
Never look the same again. Starring Night. Order your copy today. The links are in the description.
Listen, I've been killing him. I said, what did I say before? I said something. Dr. L said, if you want your clock clean. I haven't heard that term since the 80s, 90s. Yeah, I go way back. What did I say before? You know, I got all kind of whatever it is. You know, we all know what we're talking about here. You just want that, then just get that, but don't expect that guy to be a leader. That's what's crazy. If you know what this guy is, you know this guy doesn't have a job, car, he smokes weed all day, smokes weed and plays PlayStation all day. Why would you expect this guy to lead you?
In any case, this is just the pits. Women are less satisfied in their relationships, they're less satisfied at work, and they're more discontented on their own. Perhaps they'd be more satisfied if they didn't have to deal with men whatsoever, since men are so often presumed to be the cause of their discontent. In which case, sexual relationships that don't involve men would presumably be the happiest and most harmonious of all, right? Actually, it turns out that the divorce rate among lesbians is even higher than the divorce rate among straights. And it's already pretty high among straights. How men might be to blame for that one, I'm not sure, but I imagine an explanation exists somewhere. Perhaps it's internalized homophobia as a result of participating in a toxic misogynistic culture. However, given the fact that the divorce rate among gays is significantly lower than the rate among the other two groups, this might be a tough sell. Do you get the point? Let's return to the original topic. We can now see how many of the reports of women's lower relationship satisfaction relative to men are functionally misleading. It's not that they're not true. It's that they all kind of assume that this increased discontentment is a deviation from the norm, that it's unique to this context, to their relationships with men. However, we've seen evidence that this might not be the case. We see lower satisfaction in women in numerous different contexts relative to men. And this, of course, suggests another possible explanation of the data, an explanation that, to my mind, has the advantage of parsimony, as this one explanation could account for all the observed phenomena we've just discussed. It could be wild speculation, but here it is. It just might be the case that women are more discontent than men are. I don't.
Full stop, period. Could that be the case? Always. So a friend of mine called me the other day. I don't know if he's in the chat. Sometimes he snipes. He called me a couple days before Christmas, and we were having a conversation about this exact thing. You know, why aren't women happy? You know, how come this and how come that? How come a guy can be satisfied, you know, with just a car, a small apartment, this, that, and the other. So he and I were chopping up for a little bit about this exact topic here. And it's difficult to really try to articulate because, you know, I think it's hard to say and hard to acknowledge, but it's a definite truth that we need to acknowledge, that I think that women just are always looking for the next thing, and they become bored easily. And if it's not exciting, then you're not going to hold their attention, and you got to take them out to the next fancier restaurant, and you got to buy them the next big car, the next big thing, you got to do the next big thing. And if you can get away from that, versus the guy who is fairly satisfied, right? Remember the other post that I played before, he said, you know, if you don't raise your standards, guys, was obviously sarcasm. If you don't raise your standard, you'll die alone, but you'll have a six-pack and you'll be benching 400 pounds, and you'll have your car, your apartment, you'll be satisfied in who and what you are, versus, you know, being in a relationship where you're constantly being challenged to move to the next thing. So that becomes the problem. That becomes the problem. So, big discussions, brother. Peace to you, man. I heard that you did this earlier. I didn't know you did it. I'm gonna have to check that out. I was actually gonna do this last night, but I was actually tired. I was actually sleepy, so I went to bed. Let's see. Let's see. Trying to read some of these comments and make sure that they're appropriate to put on screen. The husband guy at home is one that gets. Okay, I want to put that one. Okay. Most women of a certain age are not dealing with the Pookie Ray dudes. We encounter more men that are financially sound but emotionally unavailable. What does emotionally unavailable mean to you? That they don't want to be in relationships? Is that what that means, or that they're incapable of being in a relationship? That's the question I'm having, because I'm hearing this term emotionally unavailable. And I'm asking for your opinion because I respect your high vibe. Is it that they don't want to be in relationships, or they're incapable because they are selfish or whatever? That's what I'm curious to know. Let's see here. I agree with him. He said gay couples have a less divorce rate. It's been statistically shown that lesbian couples are much more volatile and violent than straight couples. Yeah, we know that. If a woman is not a keeper or worthy of her leadership, men are just going to pass or just pass. Pound and pass or just pass. Generally speaking, men are simple yet complex. Tell me the complexity about this. I'm dying to know about that. Women are indecisive and feeling based, and I'm a woman admitting to this. I want to know how men are complex. I keep hearing that. I want to know how men are complex. I'm genuinely asking too. How are these women who are supposedly always looking for the next big thing? I think you're referring to 20-something-year-olds. No. There's a lot of ladies who I've met in the 40s and 50s who are still looking. Okay, we got to go traveling every week. We got to do this. We got to buy the newest that. I got to take you to the newest restaurant. And we went to that last restaurant last week. I've had many discussions like that. I'm like, oh my God. I listen, I can go to the same restaurant every week. You know? So that's not the same thing. And that's what one of the questions you weren't here for this, October, but I played the video before where it was talking about one of the questions. These ladies were sitting in a restaurant making a skit, and they were like, anytime they encounter a guy who asks, are you traveling again? Right? Because you're looking for the next big thing. You went to Dominican Republic, and now you got to go to Puerto Rico. Now you got to go to Aruba. Now you got to go to where guys are like, oh, I could sit in the house playing video games all the time. Not all guys and not all women, obviously. So that's what I'm saying. That's because they're looking at other people's false lifestyles on social media and think that by competing will make them happy. That's definitely true. Scattered Israelite. That's definitely true. Not true. Lies. I don't think he's disagreeing with that. I've never dealt with a Pookie and Ray Ray in my life. Okay. I'm gonna tell you, I've said this story before. I'm telling you all the time. I ran into lawyers and other people who were upstanding citizens dealing with these dudes, dealing with them at their house at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And I know that they're at their house banging on their doors because these dudes would call us, these Pookies and Ray Rays were calling us. I had to go get them. I'm like, what is going on here? So let's see. My experience has been low emotional maturity. We can't get to a relationship because they have difficulty being present. They treat physical intimacy as the only route to intimacy. I think that's probably I'm going to admit that that's probably a struggle. That I've been talked to. I'm being honest. I've been talked to about that. You know, there's other things that we can do besides that. Yeah. Okay. But I do think that you have to be able to have some develop some emotional maturity to you as a man. I think that's probably going to look different to different ladies. I could be wrong about that. So all that crap, looking at the Facebook friends profiles. I'm here. I'm there. I'm having $1,000. I'm on a I'm at a cruise trip by the mountain by the trees. Yeah, it's a facade. Yeah, absolutely. What kind of upstanding, confident man is worried about all what those bum losers, Pookie and Ray Ray? An upstanding man who's worth anything wouldn't even be attracted to a woman who likes those type of men. The problem is you don't know that they're attracted to him. If you meet a nice lawyer, I'm telling you, I've met lawyers and people who work the city hall. I'm telling you, all of them. And You know, they come off nice and sweet. You meet them at a nice place, maybe you meet them at a upstanding cigar bar, in a nice bar or something like that, or some event, some political event or something like that. You don't know if that woman's dealing with a Pookie behind the scenes. And I'm telling you, as a man who broke up those fights with principles and all this other stuff, they're dealing with them. And you think that they have a look to them. You think that they have an aura about them, and they don't. I'm telling you. So men don't want respect handed to them as a platter more than women want it treated just for being special, just being women. Let's get to a little bit more of this here. A few more minutes of this.
No, possibly, maybe. And if that crazy idea could possibly be true, it might not be men's fault. But perhaps it could be based on enduring differences that exist between men and women. Like, oh God, geez, I don't know. Men significantly higher concentrations of testosterone, which has been well documented to increase contentment and emotional regulation. But that would be nutty. But at least we can't rule it out completely. So where does that leave us? Maybe women do need to walk away from their relationships in order to determine whether it actually makes their lives better. If it does, wonderful. I'm not going to argue that they come back. I'm concerned about reducing unnecessary suffering wherever it happens to appear. But my hunch is that this is not what will happen, and that a lot of the dissatisfaction that women experience is rooted in inappropriate expectations. Women have been sold a bill of goods.
Ooh, this is good. This is where it gets heavy here. This is where it gets heavy. I'm going to rewind this a couple. We can further digest this.
Maybe women do need to walk away from their relationships in order to determine whether it actually makes their lives better. If it does, wonderful. I'm not going to argue that they come back. I'm concerned about reducing unnecessary suffering wherever it happens to appear. But my hunch is that this is not what will happen, and that a lot of the dissatisfaction that women experience is rooted in inappropriate expectations.
Inappropriate expectations. This is where we talk about the social media influence, looking at your friends' Facebook and Instagram feeds and whatever else is going on here. This is what's driving a lot of this. Here's a psychologist saying this, right?
Women have been sold a bill of goods about work and relationships. And when they find that dating and jobs don't live up to these expectations, they tend to believe that there is something wrong with that particular relationship, or with that particular company, or with that particular culture, or that particular worldview in which that particular relationship or company are operated, rather than with their unrealistic expectations. However, comparing reality to the ideal of what could be is always disappointing, regardless of whether the person doing the comparing is a man or a woman. And perhaps the difference then comes from the fact that men aren't inundated with propaganda about what they deserve from the time they're children.
Girl, you deserve better. Girl, you need to get that. You deserve better. Wow, this is a good comment here. Women for the streets would date those types regardless of their education or status. True. They're lustful and not looking for leadership. Oh, that's well said there. That's well said. Let me play a little bit. Let me rewind this a little bit here.
Could be is always disappointing, regardless of whether the person doing the comparing is a man or a woman. And perhaps the difference then comes from the fact that men aren't inundated with propaganda about what they deserve from the time they're children. Food for thought. What do you think? Does this fit with your own experience? Let me know in the comments below. And please send this episode to someone who you think might benefit from its message. I know you know someone who needs to hear this, because it's word of mouth referrals like this that really help to make the channel grow. Other value propositions. Anyone looking to join my free weekly newsletter?
All right, he's gonna kind of pitch himself there. So go over his channel. He does some good work there, man. He really does some good work. Also, a Peaceful Life channel as well. I did highlight him. Make sure you go over there and give him a like as well. And that's pretty much what I have for today. I wanted to kind of highlight this and just highlight that he's saying that maybe it isn't the men, and this is what I wanted to highlight here, is that maybe it's not the men's fault. If your dissatisfaction, if your relationship is always breaking down, you're expecting more, and it's the job, it's the family, it's the culture, it's the men, it's all these different things, then maybe it's not the men, maybe it's you, and maybe you need to find a way to really be content within of yourself. If you always got to travel, you always got to be on the next thing. This restaurant isn't good enough. This car isn't good enough. You got to trade your car. I know a woman. First date, she's telling me that she trades her luxury car in every 2 years. And she's not a million. She wasn't a millionaire. She wasn't a millionaire. And I'm looking at her like, what? Every 2 years, she trades her car in. She trades her luxury car in. That was her thing. She enjoyed her luxury cars. I get it. I like a nice car too. I like a nice car. But after a while, you got to look at your bank account. Now, how much is it to trade it in? Your payments got to be $700, $800, $900 a month. And if that's what you want to spend it on, okay. That's on you. That's on you. So, that's on you. But you can't blame that on the men and that they're broke and dusty and they're not trying hard enough and they're not emotionally available. Whatever that means to you, and they're not this and they're not that, and they're not providing for my needs and not meeting my needs. Well, who can meet your needs? Because as he laid out in the literature, your job isn't meeting your need. You don't have as much job satisfaction as men do. You're not. I remember there was a lady who would follow me one time. We ended up getting into it a little bit. She was sending me some stuff, and she ended up unfollowing me because, and she sent me something about women's emotional or women's overall satisfaction. And when you really break that down, and I read through a couple of peer-reviewed articles about that, and it really depends. The emotional satisfaction or the satisfaction that was being spoken about was on a scale where, let's just say, the men rated something as a 5 and the ladies would rate it as a 6, but it was a survey type of thing. And so therefore you really can't judge that as far as a solid base of evidence, because it's all about how you perceive things. So it was a complicated way of looking at trying to say that women were just more satisfied with life versus men. So, but again, if they're constantly on higher antidepressants and medicating themselves through box wine or just wine, doing all this self-medication in order to get through the day, to get through the week, then what does that mean for their overall levels of satisfaction in life? So take that for what it's worth, but maybe the men aren't the problem, and maybe we're not as broke and dusty and unemotionally available. Maybe nobody can meet your needs. Maybe that's just the case. And I know that Orion was being a little bit sarcastic about it, but maybe that's just the problem. Maybe nobody, even other women, can't meet your needs, and the job can't meet your needs, and the kids can't meet your needs, and traveling can't meet your needs, and this and that. Nobody can meet your needs. Maybe your standards are too high. Maybe this modern age that we're living in has really just driven us over a cliff. And we always think we got to have the next best thing, and it's never enough. It's never enough. And this was the conversation I had about Christmas this year. I told my family, listen, this is the last time I'm doing this. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing Christmas anymore. Not because I'm not doing the materialistic aspect of it. I certainly would enjoy going out. We can all come over. We can have a good time. But this materialistic pressure and this and that, and who's cooking for this, and who's not even cooking, who's buying this, and where are we going to get this from? I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing all that. My kid, everybody's grown. We all have jobs. You can buy what you want throughout the year. It's a completely different situation here. Big discussion says, it's tough, Dr. L. As a man, when is life good enough? Do you ever get to rest? Are we always striving for the next thing? I think a lot of times guys are like, nah, I'm good. My PlayStation, my house, my car is working. I think we're kind of good. But yeah, you got to start celebrating Kwanzaa now. Yeah, I might. I've been telling people that for years, but then I just keep going for it. Yeah. I just keep, but I can't do this. I can't do the pressure thing because it's never enough. I can't do the pressure thing. In a couple of months we'll be looking at Valentine's Day, as I mentioned. when will it ever be enough? It'll never be enough. It's good enough when we say it is, but that's when we're single. Yeah. My older brother and I had a discussion on a similar topic yesterday. I'm fortunate I could always see the side of males growing up in a family dominated by males. Yeah. 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 It might be a good idea for single men to identify as broke, dusty, degenerate until economy improves self preservation. I have a neighbor who trades her Mercedes every 2 years because she was leasing them. I don't know what this lady was doing. I don't know what they're doing, but it just increases your payment. You buy it. Let's just throw out some rough numbers here, right? I'm not a financial guru by any stretch of imagination. You buy a $50,000 car. 2 years later, it's still gonna, what is it worth? 35,000. You still owe the bank that, and you're gonna buy another $50,000 car. You got to tack that on, and they'll stretch out the payments. I don't know. I don't know what people are doing. I don't know. I don't ask how they're doing it, but it just doesn't seem to make sense to me. I don't want a car payment at all. It's not the men, the women have gone bad. The elder quote that went viral. It's not the men, it's the women that have gone bad. Yeah, it's definitely. All right, y'all. I thank you guys so much for. I'm thinking maybe undercover skeezers like Pookie and Ray Ray's. Vet better, fellas. I think I hear this comment, and I think it's meant with the best of intentions. But I'm going to tell you, as a man who's been in that circle. Some things you can see, some things you can't, obviously. But when you're at somebody's house and you know this lady's a lawyer and or college professors, high school principals, and this and that, and they're giving speeches at these different events, and they're members of these different sororities and all that kind of stuff. And I've seen them, and I know who they are, and I know who they creep around with. It's not just because, I mean, they may be an undercover skeezer. They may be. But the question is, how do you vet better? I mean, you go through a phone immediately. I mean, they're obviously not putting them on social media. So, and you can't tell a lot of times by their language. So, nah, they're doing a good job of putting on fronts. I tell you that. So, they say the average car payment is over $600. It's when my daughter was looking at the car, they were talking about the payment was going to be $700. She wanted some brand new car, $700 for 7 years. I thought they were crazy. I thought they were absolutely crazy. I'm like, and this now she actually needed one, and this is if we might have been in the pandemic or at the end of the pandemic, we were looking at this, and this was in late fall, and she wanted a car before this winter. She wanted a four-wheel drive before the winter crept around. And the analysis of that time was that the prices were going to drop dramatically because the pandemic I think was going to be over. The chip shortage was going to end and all this kind of stuff. And by the summertime next year, the prices were going to drop. And I'm listening to these guys talk this game. I'm like, all right, okay. So she ended up getting something different. And I paid attention. And then come the next summer, the prices didn't drop. So this is this thing that we got going on here with the prices of cars is just absolutely crazy. And everything that we got going on. 35,000 when it leaves a lot. Yeah, absolutely. Right? And then you're going to trade that car in 35,000 when it leaves a lot. You're going to trade that car in for 30,000 or so. And this is all, we're giving some generous numbers here. And then you're going to buy another car every 2 years. You're going to do that. And the whole leasing thing, you got to be content to not only pay the car payment of whatever it is, $400, $500, $600, whatever, every month, but then give that $2,500 upfront, $4,000 upfront. Every 2 years you're doing that? I don't understand how that makes sense to people. I don't understand that. Tell me. I mean, I listen to people. I'm like, I crunch the numbers myself. I'm like, I don't understand how this makes any sense to anybody. Every 4 years, I'm going to kick out $4,000 to get the payment down to this. I'm going to trade in the car and get the. Oh, yeah, okay, but you traded the car in, but now you got to pay this and that, and you every 2 years, or 2 to 3 to 4 years, whatever your lease is, you got to kick this money out. I just don't understand that. That's why I said. That's why I said when I move to another country or whatever I'm going to do, when I move, like I don't want a car. I want to live close. I want to live close enough to the beach or whatever, because it's an expense. It's an expense. I know a couple of people paying over $900. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. And these cars, I was looking at the Telluride. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll get a Telluride because I really liked them and drove them. $80,000. I'm paying that. I'm not paying that. Listen, I guess if you got it, maybe you guys need to hit my cash apps a little bit more so I can get it. Hit the like button so I can grow the channel. Maybe I can get it, but I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Doesn't the down payment determine how high the monthly payments are in addition to your credit score? Yeah, it does. It does, but if you do it, it depends on what you're doing, right? So if you do a lease, you still got to do another $2,000, $3,000, right? On top of that. So then you do it. Let's just say you're trying to buy the car. You do a down payment. Let's just say you give them. We'll be generous. You say you give them $10,000, right? Let's say you trade in an old car and you're going to do a $10,000. Now, if you're going to buy a new car every 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever, you still got to drop another $10,000 or $5,000 or whatever you're going to drop. It's a scheme. It's a scam. I don't understand. I mean, unfortunately, it's a necessary one because you got to get to work. And they know this. They know this. Yeah. I only purchase used. That's a waste of money. It is a waste of money. It's a waste of money to be kicking out $2,000 or $3,000, $4,000 every 2 years to keep that $400, $500 car note. And if you don't have it, you got to get it. And they know that you're in a bind. Listen, when my daughter and I, and they tell you, now they're telling you this up front, right? Before they used to try to hide it in this, now they tell you up front, right? They're telling you, listen, and everybody wants this particular type of car that my daughter was looking at. And they're like, listen, so because everybody, and the guy told us, we boost up the price to $7,000. So whatever they bought their car from, they're telling us they tacked on another $7,000. What? It's crazy. It's crazy. You honestly don't know a lot of those ladies are until you get in deep. You have to get good reading at the telltale signs. Yeah, you don't know these people. You don't know these people until you get into it deeply. Absolutely. Chance Rogers, what's up? A friend of mine was a car salesman. He told me the down payment just goes in the salesman's pocket. Not sure how true that is. Listen, I'm telling you, I talked to some of these car, and I know even when I talk to used car salesmen who are friends of mine, I still look at them side eye like, you're not telling me the whole story. I know you're not telling me the whole story. I know you're not, right? I know you're not. And I try to pick through the sales receipts and all that. I pick through them. Watch YouTube videos about it because I want, you don't want to get burned. You don't want to get burned, right? You're paying, $70,000 for a car that you really could have got for $40,000. It's crazy. Crazy. I live in a tiny house and drive a tiny car. Yeah. I still drive my 2012 Toyota paid off. Never again will I have a car. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the way to live. That's the way to listen. I told you guys. I was following this couple. It's a black couple from Oakland. They both worked for the city or for the school system of Oakland. And they told a story about how they never ever wanted to have a car payment again. They were moving to Portugal or to Costa Rica. I can't remember which one. And I'm like, you know what? That makes the way that they broke it down, like, it makes so much sense. It made so much sense. And I used to play. I'm a kind of big chess head, right? So I used to go play chess with these guys. And there was this older guy. He ended up passing away. And he told me the story, right? He was like, listen, you get a car. And he broke out his pen and paper, right? You get a car, bam, you know, the car payment, the gas, the insurance. You got to save up money for monthly maintenance, oil changes, this, that, and the other. Save up monthly for any type of future maintenance, the transmission goes or whatever. And he's like, you start looking at all that. He's like, I'm because he was an older guy. I'm like, why don't you have a car? And and that's why he said he didn't have a car. So listen, if you got kids, you live in a, you got a, hour commute, you can't take the train or a bus or anything. You got to do what you got to do. I get the convenience of it as being an American. I'm not dismissing that. But I'm saying as a retired guy living on an island, or this retired couple that I told you about who want to live in Portugal or whatever and just live in walking distance from the fresh fruit stand and from their favorite movie house. My son was staying in he was in a military station in not Denmark, in the Netherlands. And where he lived at, there was the train station was not far away. And he's stationed in the military. I'm like, well, I don't know why you left this place. Stationed in the military. There was a fruit stand, a movie theater. The bus station wasn't that far away. Everybody had bikes. I'm like, this is like fresh food every day. A couple different restaurants were in biking distance. Different life. It takes a little over $20 to fill my. Listen, I used to have a truck. It was costing me $60 to fill my tank up once a week. $60. That was my truck. Rolling my 2010 Toyota until the wheels fall. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Lady, if you go into luxuries, stick with Lexus. Other brands empty your pockets with repairs. Lexus last. Listen, I'm going to tell you. I told you guys that story about the BMW. If you guys watched that video, right? Everyone I know with a BMW. Everyone I know that I know. And I know a few people who have BMWs. I know a few of them. People at the police department, people in my church, people I worked with that when I was working in college full time, all had BMWs, all of them in the shop. All of them. They always come back with, we need $5,000 or to get. They always come back with that, right? You settle on the price. You settle on the price for a car. You go in. He's got to go talk to his manager, right? He's got to go talk to his manager to get this. They come back. Listen, I thought we could do this. It was only $2,000, but I really need $5,000 in order to get you here because your credit, this, that, and the other. Meanwhile, you could have 800 score credit, and they're still going to come back with this story, right? And I used to tell my kids when last time my daughter bought a car, right? I'm sitting there. Here's what they would go in the back. I would tell him he's going to come back and say this. I guarantee you. And lunch is on you when he tells you when he says this. And she would be so mad because he would come back and say it, and now she had to buy me lunch. That's crazy. Yet they roll their eyes. We walk in with the cash. They don't want to hear it. Yeah. They never tell you. You never tell them you have cash up front. You never tell them you have cash up front. You never tell them you want to trade your car in either. Never tell them that. Your old car, you have a car trading. No. I want to settle on the price. And I'll come back to it 30 seconds later. Are you sure you don't have anything to trade in? You sure don't have any cash? Listen, I want to settle on the price of the car. That's what I want to know. I want to know what the price of the car is. After we do this, that, and the other. Let's settle on the price of the car. Once you get the price of the car, okay, now we can talk about how much cash I'm going to put down. Now I'm going to talk about its trade-in value. Right? And if they want to change things after that, you walk out. We did a lot of walking out. We did a lot of walking out. My father said having cars like having another woman. It's true. Yeah. If you have no emergency fund, you're flirting with disaster. I don't know if I could do a tiny house. I thought about it, man. I thought about doing a tiny house. I don't know if I could do that. I don't know. Let's see here. I appreciate y'all coming in. 80 people in here. We wrapping up and now people show up. I appreciate that. Let's see. Make sure you hit the like button here. Never tell them how much you want. Just turn into a whole car buying session. Never tell them how much you want to pay monthly. Yeah, you want the price of the car. That's what I want. I want what is the price of the car out the door? That's what you want to get first. It's liberating. I live that way in Bangkok and Udon, Thailand. Best quality of life I experienced. Listen, I'm telling you, brother. Listen, as soon as I finish up this stuff I'm doing with lawyers, me right there. It's gonna be me and the peaceful life sitting right there on the beach. That's the way to live. That is the way to live. Everything's a walking distance. Food is fresh. I'm telling you. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Dr. L. Appreciate that. The D 548. Appreciate that. Thank you. Same to you. Hope you guys being safe. Don't not drinking too much. All that kind of stuff. Right. Just walk out and see what happens. This is what you got to do. You got to walk out. You got to get the price of the car, and then you got to be willing to leave. Tell them, okay, here, you take my number. You call me back. We can do anything about this. And they'll call you. They'll call you. And that's the thing, doctor. If people you learn how to take care of a car, it will last longer in maintenance. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Y'all hit the like button. Hit the like button. Also, you got to find a great independent shop. Labor rate or dealer $200 an hour is brutal. That's definitely true. That's definitely true. Then they tack on unneeded warranties and everything. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You need the base warranty. Sometimes I do get the extended warranty though. Sometimes I do get that because there was a warranty, 30,000 miles. Sometimes you want to go up to 80 or 100,000 miles. Sometimes I do that. So when my Avalon died in 2011, I became a bike commuter. I would love to do that, man. I would love to do that. I had actually thought about doing that when I was at the end of my career, but the city I live in, so many hills, because at the end of my career, I was working in the day shift. So I could just ride to work and then ride back. But there's so many hills. I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. So yeah. All right, y'all. That's the show there. I appreciate y'all coming up. So I appreciate the conversation we had about buying cars. And it may not be all the men's fault. So it may not be all the men's fault. So I appreciate y'all coming up here. I thought about Panama and retirement. I follow many content creators from there. At one point, I was going to be Africa. I'm hearing that Panama is just as expensive, or not just as, but fairly expensive. I don't know. I got to visit Africa. I do want to look at Panama. I'm looking at Panama, Peru, a couple other places I plan to go to. I want to go back to Costa Rica, an island. I enjoyed St. Lucia a lot. It was very, very cheap there. I mean, especially for an island, it was very cheap. So just keep looking. Absolutely. Let's see who else here. Thanks to all the chats here. Asp Lit Gem 56 $4.99. Thank you for that. Indigo Flow $2. Appreciate that. Roy Nels SP. Thank you for that. High Vibe says Happy New Year. Wishing you continued success with the channel. I appreciate that, High Vibe. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. I really, really appreciate you guys checking out the video today. My brother and I went to Panama and we encountered racist natives. Probably because the black women there don't want you there, right? They want the American black men. I would assume. I don't know. Did you say Portugal? That's definitely a place. That is a place that I think that many black Americans are going to. Portugal. Some parts of Lisbon, Spain, Portugal. Lisbon, Spain, comma, Portugal. Portugal is or is Lisbon in Portugal? I can't remember. Somewhere. So they're looking at that to retire. And the story I told about a couple who I think retired in Portugal. So it is a place that many black expats are going to go because of the cost of living, because of free healthcare, all the other things. You can get healthcare. And most of these other places you go to, you can get healthcare. You go there and pay $50 a month or something like that for free healthcare. I think Costa Rica's like that. Thailand's like that. All these other places, it's just America. You can't get free healthcare, which is nuts, So, yeah. Everybody, Belize also, yeah. Belize is actually a heavy spot too, and they speak English too very well there. Lisbon is Portugal, and I love it there. Yeah. It's all places I plan to hit. Unfortunately, at my it's fortunate and unfortunate that my business, as far as helping lawyers out with different cases, picked up, and I just can't travel like I want to. But I'm hoping to be back on the prowl, or at least back traveling by the spring. I'm hoping to be. So that's my desire. That's my desire. So yeah, Belize is a place on my list. I'd like to go to Guatemala. I'd like to go to Panama. Go back to Colombia, depending on if you're president there, what he wants to do. Craziness. Yeah, your retirement money goes really far in Portugal. Yeah, it hurts really cheap. It's like I heard it's really cheap. So, you know, so still won't be fluent. I still want to be fluent in Spanish. Spanish isn't. I mean, I've been working in Spanish all my life, so I can be. I can probably be fluent in a year. I mean, I'd be fluent conversationally if I really, really gave it a lot of time. So, yeah. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all coming up. Appreciate you guys. Hit the like button if you watch this in the future. Um, you guys don't want to stop it. Please tell me my Spanish is good, but I don't feel confident enough. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it probably is. It probably is. What countries have free healthcare? Almost all of them. Not free healthcare. Oh, you're saying free healthcare? All of them, you have to pay. You have to pay some deductible a month, right? I know Costa Rica's like that. I know Thailand, the Philippines are all like that. These are all places I kind of researched. What does it take to move there? I think Portugal is like that. I think Spain is like that. In fact, those two countries, they were having a problem where people from the UK at one time, and this is a story I took a Spanish class when I was in community college, and this lady who was from that area was talking about it. Like a lot of people, this may have changed in the time being from this particular story. But she said that one of the reasons that Spain was going broke is because a lot of people from other parts of the Europe were going to Spain, getting surgeries, and then leaving. They would go there, sign up for this program, and then they would leave. So I can imagine that Spain has done something to fix that. But a lot of countries, this whole idea that you don't have access to healthcare or whatever you want to call it. I think access to healthcare is another scheme that they put on us. But you just pay $50 and you get access to healthcare or whatever it is, $50, $60. So it's probably expensive to them. But you as an expat, if you're paying $700 a month now, you can go there and pay, $60 with nothing, right? And get access to and have healthcare. So this whole thing it's just the US that is crazy. So Belize was full of packs of dogs roaming the streets. Well, I think a lot of countries are like that, unfortunately. So let's see here. There's a black couple from Denver that has a popular podcast about living abroad. Yeah, listen. I got another channel. I haven't started yet, but when I really get out there, I'm going to change it into that. Maybe I'll do it with this one here. I don't know. We'll see how this one's doing in that time. But I really want to do that myself, just kind of exploring life. But I do have another channel that's already set up for that. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah. I've been to Spain twice. I've only been to, I've been in the Netherlands, Germany, Italy, a couple other places. None of them I'd want to live. None of the places I saw over there I want to live. So I kind of like us. I want to be around us. I want to see some black faces. October, I had a tour guide that took me through the slums of Belize, and the dogs were massive. Yeah. They gotta fix their dog issues there and all that kind of stuff. We have free healthcare in every region and free education for birth to university, but of course there are always private health facilities, education institutions. Yeah. I have to check them out. What's the name of that channel? The people from Denver. Tell me about them. I'd like to check them out. Saturday discussions are good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Very affordable healthcare in Colombia. Yeah, Colombia too it's all it's really America. It's really America. This country is so greedy. The higher ups are so greedy. They don't want it. And of course there's racism too. The only reason we don't have free healthcare is because they don't want black people to get it. Y'all realize that, right? They just don't want black people to have it. That's the only reason that they don't have it. Even now they're talking about with the AI giving people universal basic incomes and stuff. That's a discussion that people are having. If they take away jobs from all these different people, or if they're replaced by robots, etc. What do you do with the workforce or the former workforce? And the talk is to give them universal basic income. That ain't gonna happen. Well, I can't say it's not gonna happen, but people are not gonna want black people to have it. And they'll fight against it. That's why they're fighting against healthcare. That's why that's why they fought against Obamacare. Crazy. Sweden and Denmark. Yeah, I did go to Sweden too. No, wait, was it Sweden? Switzerland. That's where I was at. Switzerland. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful landscapes. Beautiful landscapes. Although expensive, Aruba has my heart. I've been there 7 times. I'm thinking about moving there. I even went to their immigration office. Yeah, I can't see spending a lot of money. I mean, I mean, St. Lucia was very, very nice. So I've never been to Aruba. I don't know, but Black Utopia podcast like that. Let me write that down. I saw a lady who did a show from China. And she was, telling people to hit her up. She's Black and living in China. And so I listen, I dig it. I dig it. I know some people are doing stuff about living in Thailand. There was a lady who was living, a Black lady living in Vietnam. And listen, it's out there. Yeah, it's out there. It's out there. I like the minimalist lifestyle in Scandinavia. I'd like to do the minimalist thing. I'd like to do that. I got so much stuff here. I try to give stuff away. I'd like to do that. Yeah. They want to profit off healthcare. And this is the problem. This is the problem. They want to profit off of it. Yeah. They're greedy here. They're greedy here. It's crazy. And in a couple of years, it's probably going to go up because they're going to have to, they what do? They change the parameters for people to take out student loans. So you take an average person who wants to go to med school, can't afford it anymore. So now, you'll dry up the pool of doctors, and they can drive up their prices because they got to pay for these. They can make it what it is. It's all about money here. It's really kind of disgusting, quite honestly, because they're playing with people's lives. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, y'all. Almost 2 hours. I appreciate y'all joining in, man. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Yeah, I'd like to. Maybe you should come up one day and talk. If you're comfortable, send me an email, Minister, because that's something we should definitely talk about. I've watched the tiny house shows, but I want to know how that functions every day. I mean, after a while, don't you get tired of, right? You got this loft, right? You got to crawl up and crawl up there. I mean, doesn't it get frustrating after a while? Don't you want to get up and stretch out in your bed? Right? I don't know how it seems cute for a while, but I can't see living that way for years. But tell us about that. I mean, if you want to, you can tell us about it. I'd certainly like to have that discussion about living in a tiny house. So Anita says she's going to do that too from Better Love Movement. She says she's going to move into a tiny house one day. So I can definitely see the cost benefit of it, but I just can't see, I just can't see. I'd have to have a large tiny house, so I don't know. We'll see. What are the international traveling rules? They're probably traveling because the U.S. is a bunch of idiots. Okay, it's not forever. Okay. So what are the travel rules that are changing? Now this I got to listen to. What are the travel rules that are changing, and where can we get the information about what they're changing to? Do you have a website or anything for us? And what does that mean? You got to be vaccinated. What does that mean? I'd love to hear about that. It is disgusting because they want to drive this narrative that the world is overpopulated. They want people off to themselves so the world will be less populated. Yeah. I think they just want a slave class, and the more people, more people you have, right, the more government subsidies, more goodies they had to give them because everybody can't work, particularly going to the future. Robots and AI taking people's jobs. There's no place for them to work. What are you going to do all day, right? And they don't want to go to a rich beach and have you sit next to them. Yeah. UK changed last year. Please tell me, website or something that can look at international travel. What does that mean? Passports or a certain amount of time? What does that mean? I'm definitely interested in knowing that. So I'd like to go to the UK. So at least once in my life. When we were in, so I went to see my son in the Netherlands. And we, did all these different pit stops, all these different countries and stuff. And we're supposed to go to the UK. Now we went at the tail end of COVID. It was great. It was great because nobody was on the plane. I'm like, I can't even believe that they actually flew the plane. It was probably like 10 people on the whole plane. I mean, literally, it was crazy. It's going there. So so we get there, and then we had to have this thing on your phone about you've been vaccinated and you've been tested, right? And they gave you a little screen, the barcode, and so or the QR code. So any restaurant that we went into, you had to present that, otherwise you couldn't get into the restaurant. So, and that was when we were in the middle of in the Netherlands. We could go to Germany, we could go to Italy, and all these different places. But we wanted to fly to Great Britain or to the UK, whatever it's called, England. We wanted to fly to London, and they didn't take the barcode, so they wanted to get tested again. So if we flew there, we had to get tested again, and we had to. I think they wanted us to get another shot. I'm like, I'm not doing all that. Right. I got this barcode. I've already been stuck once. I can't remember specifically what they want us to do, but I think we had to quarantine for like maybe a couple of hours and then take a test or something like that. Whatever it was, I'm like, I'm not doing this. We'll just go somewhere else. And that's why we went to Switzerland instead of to the UK. So I will need to send the video I watched this past week. Too many to mention. Okay. Yes. Send me the video. I'd like to check it out. Maybe I'll do a video about that because I'm listen, this whole travel thing to me is big. You have to have the background. You have to have a background check. Everyone entering the UK has to go through a background check. Google travel requirements. Got you. I never understood why that wasn't a thing. First of all, I don't understand why it's not connected to your passport. In all honesty, I don't understand that. It just seems so silly to me. Your background check. I know people don't like this, right? When you get clear and global reentry and all this other stuff, right? Just connect all that stuff and just connect it to your criminal record should be connected to your passport. I don't understand that. So, but I got you. I'm clear to travel to the UK in the last few years. Yeah. So it helps already to land and put in a tiny house. I was thinking about putting an alternative dwelling unit on the land of siblings and my own. Gotcha. Yeah. The only thing about cold environments is the heating prices. But like now, like I love it. I mean, it's cold where I'm at, and I got the window open all night, so I love it. And it's crazy because this is a brand new phenomenon. Probably when I turn 40, I'm like, all right, why is it so hot in here? And part of my white ancestry is from England. Well, I think all of ours is right. I did my DNA, and I'm like a quarter of the way. 1/4 of me is white or something like that. So. Yeah. Yeah, please send me that video. Please. I'd like to check that out. Make sure I'm not doing something crazy. Because there's nothing worse than getting on the plane or trying to get on the plane. Like we were going to go to Greece, same time frame. We're going to go to Greece. And Greece wanted us, now again, we had this QR code you could just scan it everywhere. And Greece wanted us to fill out another form. Again, this is the end of COVID, so this is when it was all crazy. To form to go to Greece. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This is crazy. Why do we got to keep filling all this stuff out? So that whole time frame was just nuts. I hated it. Ireland, yeah. All right, y'all. Good conversations. I appreciate that. Good conversations. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I am going to I think it's supposed to be. I think it might be snowing right now. It's supposed to snow again at 1 o'clock, so I got to go out there and shovel again. Thank you to everyone who I've already put up here who's done the super chats. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. I'm actually hungry too. So, all right, y'all. Thank you guys for checking out the show. Y'all do some ancestry checks. Tiny house, low heating bill. Yeah, I can believe that. I believe that. Unless I turn the heat down. So I walk around here. I put my hood up. I don't keep it up down, but I keep my hood up. Oh, you're gonna buy a Sammy with your super chats? It's cold outside. Well, it's still snowing on the ground, so no, I'm not going anywhere today. I'm not going anywhere today, but I probably will. We've kept you here, Dr. past your time. No, we're good. We're good. I don't really have anything else to do, right? We're on the break from work, excuse me, from school, so I don't have any papers to correct. It just snowed outside. That's pretty much it. I was just gonna sit up there and play some video games. So I'm good, actually. We do get snow in Texas. Hopefully, it's not a disaster again like it was in 2021. Was that the year that everybody was sliding around and getting in accidents? And it was there in Atlanta one year. There was like back-to-back snowstorms or sleet or ice or something like that. It was something crazy like that. So, yeah. 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 Both sides of my family study and research ancestry. Yeah. I tried to do that, and I couldn't get my family members to participate, which was very, very frustrating. A 100-car pileup in Fort Worth, and the whole grid went down. Yeah, I kind of remember that. Yeah, 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 yeah. I think the same thing happened in Atlanta too, right? That was a couple years ago. There was a big pileup in Atlanta, and it was like a big ice storm or snowstorm, and they didn't have the equipment to deal with it. They just had to wait for it to melt. So, if I remember correctly. I'd like to do that's what I want to do. And my uncle, before he passed, he had done a bunch of research, and nobody knows what our research is, and he's gone now. So I'm sure that his wife at the time had cleared it all out, and I don't know what she did with it. Matter of fact, I need to ask my mother if I need to ask about that. But yeah, I'd like to do that to figure out. From what I understand, my uncle traced it back to a plantation in either North or South Carolina, but we don't have the names or anything like that. So, and all that's important. All that is important. Finding your slave ancestry is both traumatizing and joyful. I know his name and everything in the plantation. Yeah, I can imagine that it is traumatizing and joyful. I can see that. I can definitely see that. I can see that. 2K, Madden, NCAA football, 25, PS5. Yeah, that's what I have. I'm playing Ghosts of Yote right now. It's like the third time I'm going through it. I'm trying to beat this guy. What's his name? Takezo or something like that. Takezo. I cannot beat this boss. It's not even the final boss either. I'm trying to beat this dude. I do play NCAA football. I do play that. At least I have it anyway. I haven't booted it up. I tend to stick with one game for a long time. So that's what I'm playing. For ancestry, you can do a DNA. If you're talking about you don't know where to begin, you can do ancestry. You can what else would you do? You would go to ancestry.com would I'm not trying to pitch them at all, but they would go to different public records, light bills, etc., going back all these different years, census information. They do a lot of work with that. You can also go to your public library and just try to trace back what you know and then trace it back even further. So, but Ancestry does that for you. Different residential notices, public records, birth certificates, death certificates, they trace all that for you. So 23andMe, yeah. 23andMe, do I still have NBA Live? Well, hold on, let me get to this one. 23andMe, right? That's mostly for medical stuff, right? I believe. Probably for both, but whatever. October, my cousin and I took the burden on. You can try Ancestry. You can find a lot of stuff out. I would suggest you be prepared, though. Yeah. NBA Live. I do have an old NBA Live, like 2023 or something like that. I used to like NBA Live, and coming up when NBA Live was on PlayStation 2, it was the joint. PS1 and 2 and all that, it was a joint. We used to play that junk all the time. And then 2K took over somehow, and I don't know, but I only play it every once in a while. The NBAs. I'd rather play the football games. Also, when I just kind of want to zone out, I play baseball. You don't have to concentrate that much. Like a lot of times, as I talked about, I just listen to podcasts and stuff. So I'm not thinking a lot about the game. I'm more listening to the podcast. So that's why I tend to play games multiple times over, just so I can just be doing something. So I suppose there is some serious stuff I could be doing. My family has been to the land and the remains of the plantation of Virginia on both of my mother's side. Yeah, that's got to be crazy, man. That's got people who've done that type of work and been to these plantations or know this and that. That's got to be hard. That's got to be hard. And of course, black folk who are making too much of this. Why can't you just forgive? Why can't you just forgive and forget? Okay. Okay. We are. Ain't nothing wrong with that, though. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I do want something to eat, though. What do I want? I don't want to go to the store and get it either. I don't feel like cooking. All right, y'all. I think I'm going to call it because I am hungry. I'm going to go get something to eat. I appreciate y'all sticking around. All 47 of you. Make sure you hit the like button. I appreciate that. Hope I gave you guys some good information. Make sure Grubhub a sandwich. You know how much that'll be? DoorDash, Grubhub. As a kid, and I'm talking when we were a teenager, we used to in snowstorms, my best friend and I, he lives in North Carolina now. We used to call restaurants, Chinese restaurants, because they were the only ones that would deliver. Them in pizza shops, right? This Grubhub stuff is all new, right? So we would, in the middle of snowstorms, we would order, fried rice or whatever. And we couldn't even talk to him. He was laughing so hard. It was so funny. Oh, man. And they would come too. They would come, they would drive up, pull up, the snowstorm and stuff. It's crazy. Let's see. Any college football fans in the chat? Go Buckeyes. I was always a Michigan fan. Well, I just like college football and whatever team was going good, but as a kid, as a teenager, right, I was into Oklahoma Sooners, right? That was the 80s, right? Oklahoma Sooners, Nebraska, Notre Dame. And then, get the early 90s, you get Miami and Florida State and all that. So those are Miami and Florida State's probably still my teams, I went to Whitney Plantation. I seriously felt some spirits there. I'm sure. 2K bought the NBA licensing. NBA Live can't use real player names anymore. Oh, okay. Burritos more likely. Mostly burritos. I get a Southwestern burrito. That's what I get. Make a big salad. I don't have any food for it. All the food that was in my refrigerator was from Christmas, and I haven't been to the store since. So I don't really have anything anymore. Chinese restaurants be open no matter the what. That's why we used to do it. It was, listen, it was so funny. We see this guy pull up, right, jumping out the car, carrying his bags in. We pay him. We just started busting out laughing. It was crazy. Go Longhorns. Yeah. Do I cook? Yeah, I cook. But I'm getting lazy. I don't want to cook. I don't want to cook. I did put some stuff in a crock pot for chili, some chili that'll be done around 6 o'clock or so. That'll be for dinner, but I don't want to cook right now. I'm hungry now. Listen, the people who know their people, man, I applaud you guys. So it's really, really good. All I know is one side of my family, because I didn't have a father growing up. And as I mentioned, my uncle did some research and traced this back to North Carolina from the Hunter side of me. And then my grandmother's side, I know we traced back to New York, upstate New York. How they got to upstate New York, I don't know. So I made vegetarian chili a few days ago. Yeah, that's what's in my crock pot right now. Some vegetarian. It's vegetarian chili. No meat. No meat. So I'm getting back to my strict diet here. I want to drop some pounds, really get into my running. Yeah. I have some baked beans and sauteed spinach left over. Yeah. We had some good food. My daughter made some vegan lasagna. My daughter's really a good cook. She made some vegan lasagna for me, and then she made some regular lasagna for everyone else. And she's a very good cook. 4 days left on my meat fast. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah. I baked some vegan chocolate chip cookies. Oh, listen, I made some vegan oatmeal raisin cookies. I made that. That was what we had for dessert. Some vegan oatmeal raisin cookies. And I tell my mother, everything's vegan. She still calls me up. Listen, what's in these cookies? I'm like, Ma, it's just all natural ingredients. Believe me, I wouldn't try to trick you about it. That's what's in it. So yeah, some vegan chocolate. So what do you use as a binding agent there, right? So we were having a debate as to what the best binding agent is for vegan cookies. Is it some people are using pumpkin, canned pumpkin, that kind of stuff. Some people were using applesauce. I used applesauce, and some people are using peanut butter. I use both peanut butter and applesauce. Neither one of them turned out great. They were good, but you could taste the peanut butter and the binding of the applesauce. I should have added some chia seeds to it. That probably would have helped out a little bit, but it didn't end up. It didn't end up sticking together, so it all fell apart. Applesauce, yeah. So I just saw a recipe where people are using the pumpkin filling for pies and stuff. So I might try that next time. But yeah. Applesauce doesn't bind. Chia seeds do a little bit. Chia seeds do it, but I'm going to try using applesauce and chia seeds. I'm going to try to see if that'll work. The peanut butter did work, but it just overpowered the oatmeal raisin. So yeah, I made a cookie crumble. Yeah. Yeah. It was good. It was good to the taste, but it just fell apart, So it was good to the taste. So yeah. I've used applesauce in place of peanut butter. Yeah. Applesauce in place of butter. Yeah. I use applesauce when I make cornbread in place of butter, because I make vegan cornbread, so I use that applesauce. Yeah. But how come vegan cookies have more calories than regular? That's what I had seen. I never saw that. Or maybe it's because you're using all fresh vegetables. And there's a video on YouTube. It's called "Is a Calorie or Calorie?" I think it's called "Is a Calorie or Calorie?" And so all calories are not equal. And I think the whole caloric intake and all that is a touchy subject. I'm no expert at all, but a calorie of let's just throw it out there. A calorie of peanut butter is not the same as a calorie of an apple. So take that for what it's worth. I don't know. But I use mine are probably I just use like 4 ingredients. It's usually just oats, the applesauce, probably the sugar. Sometimes they want you to use 2 different types of sugar, some type of maple sugar or syrup, maple syrup and sugar. So that probably might be doing it too. So you got to watch all that. And I used to use one sweetener. So I either use sugar or I'll use the maple. I don't use both of them. Some recipes call for both maple or agave or something like that. Yeah. And then also I made some oatmeal pancakes, oat pancakes. So that was great. So yeah, I thought of going vegan. However, my mom living on a cattle farm makes it difficult. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I can see that. Yeah. Yeah, they don't tend to like the vegans too much, and they think we're weak and simpish. Okay. It's crazy because the biggest, strongest animals on the planet are all vegans. Wild. I have some non-GMO applesauce in my fridge right now. I'll be the first time trying it. Yeah, try it. Yeah. That's another thing too. We talked about a lot of stuff. Get to that non-GMO stuff. Non-GMO. Watch the oatmeal that you make. There was a doctor, black doctor. She's on YouTube. She's always making videos about that, about things that obviously affect the men's testosterone. So I watched that. So she said that the pesticides in the foods, or that they spray on foods, I should say, is killing men's testosterone. So she advocated that if you're going to eat oats, you got to eat the non-GMO organic ones, and that's what I do. I order mine. So because I love oats and they're very good for watching cholesterol, etc. So that's what I eat is non-GMO oats. So yeah. Steel cut oats. Yep. Steel cut. Yep. Steel cut or whole oats. I mean, I'm not exactly sure what, there probably is a difference. I'm just not aware of it, but I have packets of both. So and when I order them, I order sometimes I order steel cut, sometimes I order the whole ones, whole rolled oats. I don't know if that makes a difference, but I just use both. So but the important thing is, the GMO and preservatives and pesticides. That's what's important. That's what's important with all these different foods. I've been taking bergamot for my cholesterol, and I had my last. Okay, what is? I don't even know what that is. I got to look that up. Never heard of that. I know when I constantly eat oats, though, my cholesterol goes down. It does take it. Oats and the other soluble fiber, okra. A lot of people don't like okra because it's slimy, but that slime actually attaches to your cholesterol in your blood and takes it out of your blood. So, and that's the same thing that oats do. That slime from the oats. That's, people don't like it, but that's what's keeping people alive. So that's why I eat it. I eat oats every day, sometimes twice a day. So steel cut oats take longer to cook and help you feel full longer. Okay. To go for cars, the slaves, now oats. It's a bergamot oat is an herb. Okay, I'll check it out. Thank you for that. I'll check it out. I wrote it down. I gotta check out that. Y'all gave me some homework. The Black Utopia podcast. I think I might have heard of them before, actually, in bergamot. Bergamot is an Earl Grey tea and it's really good. Okay, so it's already in there. The bergamot is already in the Earl Grey tea. Okay. Yes, oats is recommended for folks with high cholesterols. Yeah, absolutely. My endocrinologist suggested it to me as opposed to Western medicine. I appreciate her for that. Yeah, okay. I will check it out. Okay, very good. Okay, I'll check that out. Very good. Okay. Listen, one episode we were talking about teas, right? So teas are good for you, right? So I drink hibiscus and French vanilla. Now I got to include some Earl Grey. Cool. I take supplements by a great company called Tricerta. More homework there. All right. All right, y'all. All right. Slaves, the car. We would go. Cars, the slaves. What is it? Somebody put in something. Okra is great. Yeah, okra is really good. It's really good for you. People don't like it. People don't like it, but if you're dealing with high cholesterol and other fiber related issues, okra and oats are the ways to go. And I guess we got to include bergamot to that too. Cars, the slaves, now oats. Okra pickles. I never had okra pickles. What's up, Gregory Scotland? Appreciate you. I never had okra pickles. I gotta check that out. That's actually sounds fantastic. We talked about cars, skeezers, tiny houses, and herbs. Oh, you forgot the oats. Oats and cholesterol. Yeah. Skeezers. Yeah, I can imagine. They sound like they would be good. They sound like they would be really good. They sound like they would really be good. One thing we can do here at Dr. House is hold a conversation. Yeah, listen, I love it. I love it. I love it. We can see many are trying to disparage black men in every way. Rather, it is how we vote if we have passport bros who don't want baby mamas. Yeah, and slaves. Yeah. I think I did a video. I don't know if I dropped it yet on my other channel talking about voting. I just did it. I think I did. I can't remember if I dropped it or not. I mean, I know I put it up. I don't know if I set it to release. So go over to Dr. L's breakdown, Dr. L's breakdown, check that out. Yeah, that's why people don't like it. Okra's consistency reminds me of phlegm, but that's the part of it that's the best. It's that fiber. That's the fiber. It's grabbing all the cholesterol that's flowing through your veins and getting it out. That's what you want. That's what you want. So yeah. Look past that. Yeah. Yeah, okra water. Yeah. Okra water is very healthy. Yeah. Listen, it's all about the veggies. It's all about the veggies. One thing you should do as human beings or Americans is eat your vegetables. Eat your vegetables. Eat your vegetables. Most important thing you can ever do. My uncles used to tell me that as kids. Eat your vegetables. Because I was a quote unquote meat baby. No dessert until you ate your vegetables. No dessert until you ate your vegetables. All right, we ain't gonna stand here. Y'all dumping on okra. It'll save your life. We got okra pickles, okra water. I put in. I don't have any, but I usually put it in my chilies too. I put it in everything. Yeah. I guess Anton think Passport Bros are not as cool as successful as he is. Anton Daniels, I thought he was getting with the Passport Brothers now. You talking about Anton Daniels? I thought he had retracted all that he said about the Passport Bros. All those dudes that came up before and called them weak and stuff, they're like, they get it now. I started drinking aloe vera juice. It's very good for you, microbiome, reducing inflammation. Yeah, aloe vera juice. Yeah. Somebody else did something about being successful. I was actually going to do a reaction to this, but BGS was going to do it. I thought he was going to do it, and I didn't do it because he said he was going to do it. But what's his name? Coach Greg Adams. Coach Greg Adams was talking about men and the manosphere, and you guys aren't trying hard enough, and you're gurus, and this, that, and the other. You guys, and he's like, you stop talking about the same thing, which I kind of get. Sometimes I don't like talking about this either. I want to talk about more things, expand. But Coach Greg Adams was talking about, stop talking about the ladies and do for yourself and start making sure you're doing something. And I really try to focus my content on that. I try to anyway, right? Making sure you as a man be the best version of yourself. But yeah, so Coach Greg Adams did something talking about that. My mom used okra water for eyes. Soak the okra in water overnight and squeeze a few drops in your eyes. It helps you see clear if you suffer from blurry eyes. I can see how that would work. Maybe I should try that. I can probably try that. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna try that actually. I'm gonna start to see if that works. It sounds like it would help my dry eyes. I bet you it would. I bet you know all this stuff that people are taking medicine for. And I'm saying all this stuff. I mean, I'm obviously not a doctor. I've never been to med school. Well, I've never been to med school, I should say. But I guarantee you that there's a natural remedy out there for everything. 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 Start drinking fennel tea, works for wonders for vision. I added okra to my gumbo this Christmas. Okay. They usually complain about the slime. I cooked some of it away before I added it to the pot. Yeah, yes, it's the slime. That's what does it. They don't like looking at it, right? When I put it in my chili, like you when you lift up your spoon up, or the ladle, you can see the slime, and like my kids don't want to eat it. that's the part that's going to save your life. But I hear it though. You can't rock with it. I'm not gonna tell you to rock with it, but I too, like like a lot of people, have cholesterol issues, and when I'm on it, um, when I'm on it, as far as my diet and stuff, it drops. It drops. So yeah, I can attest to eating okra and eating oatmeal every day helps with cholesterol. I can attest to that. I'm going to add this. Take a look at this bergamot or whatever, or I'm going to take a look at that as well. So more gardening in 2026. Yeah, we should all strive for that. Yeah, we should all strive for that. Yeah, we grow our own okra, so there's no chemicals in it. Yeah. See, so my house, the way my house is, right, the sun, I don't get a lot of sun. The back of my house doesn't get a lot of sun. And I always wanted a garden. First of all, I don't know anything about it, so it would be definitely an uphill battle as far as that. But I would have to. The only part that gets sun is a spot that I have trees in. So I would have to cut the trees back, and I don't really want to cut the trees back because I like the trees. But yeah, it sucks. I don't know. But and there was a lady who lived on the other side of me. There was a couple who lived there, and they were old Italian couple. They would come every year. They would give me squashes and tomatoes and this, that, and the other. And they were an old Italian couple, and both of them just spoke pure Italian. And they would come over just blah 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 blah. I know what they were saying. I would just smile and nod. They would give me stuff, and they would appreciate it. They would appreciate me because I was a a police officer. I would come here on my on my lunch break with my cruiser and stuff. So they just loved it, So I might try that. I'm definitely gonna try that. Definitely. My family's part of Native American. They had all kind of listen, they all have them. all customs, all native peoples, all have them. All have natural remedies. It's crazy. Pretty fascinating to watch the collapse of America. Literally a tale of two sides. One female-led cesspool that is regressing from the normal people. Yeah. Sliced apples and blueberries. Yeah. At the root, medicine is an herbal ingredient. That's definitely true. In fact, there are some companies that patented, and I read this years ago, so my facts may be a little bit off, but they had patented and taken over so many flowers in the Amazon, and they didn't allow the natives there to grow them. Again, I read this years ago, so my facts may be a little bit off, but yeah, at the root, it's all herbs, and they don't want you to know that, If you fry the okra, does it remain slimy? I don't know, but if you're gonna fry it, you just destroyed all the goodness to it. So I don't know. Debonair bro, in the building, step brother, Dryer Repa. Appreciate you guys. We're in a closing. We've been talking about slavery, and what else we talking about? Oats and okra and buying cars. Goku grows fast. I overplanted the first time I tried to grow it. I had tons of okra. Okay, you guys got me so want to try this. I keep saying I'm going to leave, and now I definitely want to, wherever I go, I want to have a little garden in the back. And if I could grow my own okra and what are other people growing? Their own kale, right? It grows like weeds and stuff. I could grow that. Yeah. Lead Farmer 74 podcast devotes his entire content to sustainable living through farming and growing. All right. Here's another homework assignment for me. Lead Farmer 74. I'm going to check that out. In this day and time, there's so much information out here about how to get things done. I can't do the slime because I have sensory issues when it comes to eating. Yeah, some people do, right? I know some people who just like I know that what is really good for you? What is that thing? People spread it. Slimy. I can't even think of the name of it. It's green. Avocados. Avocados. I cannot eat avocados. I know they're incredibly good for you, and that's another thing people should eat if you have cholesterol issues or heart issues is avocados, and I just can't do it. I just can't. Sometimes I have to force it down. I force it down, and I can probably eat it on a spread, but like people just cutting it up and just eating it, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. We've been talking about the entire alphabet today. It's a free flow conversation. I'm actually planning my exit, 3 jobs, and planning to rent my place out and live in Korea. Okay, have you been there before, step brother Dryer? Have you been there before? And what 3 jobs you have? Man? I mean, it's you got jobs there. Tell us a little bit more about that. I barely do anything here. LOL. Save some cash and live among normal people. Got you. Yeah, we needed a benediction at this point. I love avocado and salad. I can't eat it like that. I know it's incredibly good for you. I just can't do it. And I don't really have those sensory type of issues, but something about, as I told you, I eat avocados. I mean, not avocados, okra. And I want the slime, but I just can't. I try to get avocados now. I just can't do it. Good to see you here, man. It's been a minute. Hope all is well. Yeah, avocado is wonderful. I eat avocado almost daily. I know you guys are gonna guilt me into doing this here. Avocados with chickpeas for breakfast today. Okay, that sounds good. Okay, chickpeas I eat a lot of. I mash those up and I make that into my chicken salad. So I use that. I was using vegan mayonnaise. I think I'm gonna try mustard going forward because I want to get away from the fake stuff. So I think I'm gonna try that. So avocado toast. Okay. I can eat guacamole, but I can't eat avocados directly because it's sensory. Yeah, I can eat guacamole too. I'm the same way. I can eat guacamole. I just can't do avocados. Software engineer, 3 different full-time jobs. Okay, nice. Use AI to do my work. Sleep 5 hours a night. Okay. Well, don't work yourself to death. Ain't no sense in getting over there and passing away. Get over there and enjoy yourself, brother. But I get it, man. You wanna get on your hustle. I get that. Yeah. Yep. Got a little corporation just stacking so I can dip. Cool. It's been a wild year, man. It's been good. Likewise, dude. I know you're busy as well. Guacamole and chips. I'd like guacamole. I can do guacamole. I don't eat a lot of guacamole because a lot of people, again, I try to do the vegan, I try to do the whole food plant-based diet, which means no meat, everything's natural, and no oils, no extra oils. So a lot of people add oils to their guacamole. So if I made it myself, I would eat it like that. I would make my own guacamole and eat it that way. And chips is my demon. Chips is the reason I got a stomach today. Chips and ice cream. Chips and ice cream. When I was working in the PD and I was working the midnight shift, I couldn't sleep at night because I was really used to being up. So I would eat just bowls of ice cream, one after another, just eating bowls of ice cream. Cookies and cream and black raspberry was my two things. And I packed on all this weight. And now I still have a thing with chips. I got rid of the ice cream demon, but I still have a thing with chips. So if I eat a chip, it just sparks me all up. I got to eat the whole bag, and it's really bad. It's really bad. So let's see, spread avocados on your burger. That's probably good too, or eggs or bread. Problem solved. Yeah. I can eat the spread. I can definitely eat the spread. I haven't made a black bean burger in a while. Maybe I'll make that maybe I'll do that one day this week. Dr. You might as well just stay here because until dinner. Yeah, I know, right? But I'm actually starving now. Dr. gradually introduce a little piece of avocado in your smoothies. Yeah, I know. I try it. I know. I can do the spread. I can do a spread and I can do guacamole. I can do that. But like cutting up in salads or just slicing it up and putting it on burgers, I just can't. Oh my God. I want to throw the whole thing away. I have been crushing jalapeno kettle chips. Yeah, listen, I had a thing for the kettle chips, the the cracked pepper or something like that, cracker, the black salt cracker or something like that. The kettle chips, I was killing those, bags of them. And then I switched to now I do this thing. It's got 40% less fat. It's called Cape Cod chips. Cape Cod something chips, 40% less. And so it's not as greasy and stuff. But again, if I eat one, the whole bag is gone. And for Thanksgiving, like my Thanksgiving, and I think even for Labor Day, Thanksgiving and Labor Day, right? My kids would, we would, I think it was for Labor Day. We had everybody's coming over, last cookout. So they brought the chips. And my daughter bought 2 bags, right? So she bought it before the day, and then she shows up. She's like, "Where's this other bag of chips?" I'm like, "You know what happened to this bag of chips? I ate the whole bag." So butter pecan is crack. Yeah, butter pecan is crack. Another thing I started getting into is moose tracks. It's crack. It's crack. It's absolute crack. Beef tallow. I've had beef tallow. Again, I'm trying to do the vegan thing, so I appreciate that. But yeah, I've had it all. I've had it. When you move to another country with a car, you will walk everywhere, and that's going to make a difference. That's going to make a difference. I love cookie dough ice cream and praline ice cream, but I don't do ice cream. Yeah, I can't do it anymore. Something about the sugar makes me crash and sleep immediately after. Yeah, I can't do it anymore. Yeah, Talenti is crack for sure. Yeah, it's crazy. Butter pecan is my mother's favorite. Yeah, it's a problem. And now they have vegan butter pecan. And there's this sometimes there's these vegan people can't make the ice creams right. But there's this one dairy farm. It's a dairy farm, and they do something with pea protein. And I asked them one time, I'm like, listen, I know you guys are putting some cow stuff in here. They're like, no, it's 100% vegan. We promise, we swear. I'm like, I know you're not doing it because it's so good. You can't tell the difference. And they got butter pecan. Oh my God. Every time I drove out that way, I was swinging by, picking up a quart of it. Some restaurant. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do use beef tallow for frying. McDonald's does that, don't they? Don't they use beef tallow to fry their fries? I thought they did. Cashew nuts are my weakness. I can literally eat a whole bowl for breakfast. Cashew nuts are bad. Yeah. Too much salt. Yeah. Crush some almonds. Yeah. Now we're on. I've been waiting cashews and dried cranberries together. It tastes like peanut butter and jelly. Okay. That actually sounds good. Yeah. That actually sounds good. I don't like nuts in my ice cream. Two different textures bothers me. I can see that. I do not like almonds. I don't really like walnuts, and those are probably the best ones. I mean, I like them, but I won't go out there and buy them. I will go out and buy every other nut. Peanuts. Is peanuts really a nut? Almonds, cashews. Cashews are probably my favorite. I will eat a walnut, but I won't go out there and buy it myself. Men who can say they love ice cream are the best. Why is it feminine to say love? Listen, I don't I don't rock when nobody talks like that. I don't care nothing about that. I love ice cream. Mickey D's uses beef seasoning for frying the fries. Okay, I thought it was tallow, but okay, I'll take your word for it. Okay. Their fries aren't vegan. No, they're not. McDonald's fries are not vegan. I use walnuts or pecans for my vegan meat. Yeah. I was doing that too. Yep. Mostly walnuts, pecans. Have I done pecans? I have done pecans. Mostly walnuts. So I will use them for that. And I put them in tacos. If I make tacos, that's what my taco base is. Yep, walnuts. Yep. Yep. Anything cranberries is good. Yeah, cranberries are good. Have you tried minced pecans and use that on meat? So yeah, we just said that. Yeah, yep. I've done both of them. I would prefer to have walnuts, just me personally, but I've done that. And yeah, sometimes I've crushed them up and made spaghetti meatballs with that. I've used it in tacos. I've even used it in chilies that I've made. Yep, I've done all that. Walnuts are great brain food. If you open one up and look at it, it looks just like a mini brain. Yeah, yeah, yep, definitely true. Yep. Cashews is I've used that for cheese substitutes. Anybody's done that? It comes out pretty good. Cheese substitutes with macaroni and cheese. Cashews, then pistachios. Yep. The other nuts I just tolerate and use them in my smoothie. Yeah, the other ones, cashews I really, really love. Almonds I really, really love. Walnuts I tolerate. I love peanuts. Walnuts I tolerate. That's a good word for it. My neck is getting stiff. Pistachios, I like them, but I can only eat a handful. I know people can go through bags of them. I can't do that, but that's me. I have to be careful with dried cranberries because of added sugar. Yeah, you do have to be careful with that. You can't all dried foods. You think it'd be good for you, but nope. Don't even bother. Don't even throw a mushroom my way. Don't even throw a mushroom my way. Yeah, I've done that. I've been getting into using mushrooms for different stuff. I don't know if people do it as the fake meat. I think it's kind of a waste. Nah. Does anyone eat according to their blood type? I haven't researched that. I've known that people have done that, and I read something before when I started getting into the vegan lifestyle. I read something where people really should eat the foods of their native lands. So we should eat more. Black folks should eat more yams and other things that grow on the continent, and that would help. That would help out. I only read one article about that, so I don't know the legitimacy of those types of statements. So oyster mushrooms are my favorite. Oyster mushrooms are very good. Macadamia nuts are okay. I like them more in cookies. Unfortunately, I can't just sit there and crack them. Brazil nuts are pretty good, but you're not supposed to eat a lot of them. Brazil nuts are just like almonds to me, though. Someone asked me what my favorite nut was. I said me. That's a good answer. I've heard that, but I haven't looked into it. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't looked into it either. If you have any information about that, I'd love to do some homework about that. Mushroom tastes feel like erasers. I tend to throw mushrooms into a lot of stuff. For example, when I make my burgers, I do use mushrooms in that. I crush the mushrooms in that. I just use them in stuff rather than just sitting there eating them. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. What native land? Yeah, yeah. I don't think it's good for anybody's health because the corn is so manufactured that's not good for you. In wheat, I can eat wheat. Some people have gluten allergies and all that. I can eat wheat. So yeah, I don't know. All right, y'all. 2 hours and 47 minutes. I gotta go get something to eat. So corn has no nutritional value. Yeah, and it's all in the food that we eat, right? It's corn syrup and all this stuff. And it's they give it to all these cows and stuff, and they're not supposed to eat it. That's why their flatulence is so potent and all this crazy stuff that they're doing to us in order to fatten up the cows. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Yeah, this is my third closing. I feel like a preacher in church. My third closing here. Yeah. So yeah, the most GMOs produced in the US is corn and Idaho potatoes. Yeah, it's crazy. So all right, y'all. I really gotta go. I'm gonna get something to eat. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Thank you guys so much. Again, thank you guys for the cash apps and all that kind of stuff. Appreciate you. Wait, one more thing. Why do you think people all of a sudden have allergies now? And when I was coming up, because I think it's the food. I think the food is all GMO produced. Yeah. I think it's all GMO produced. That's why I think people are allergic. I'm not exactly sure. This is me. Again, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not exactly sure if I believe a lot of this stuff. I think it's the GMO produced food. It's the mixing of everything. Nothing is real and nothing is real. The food here in America. I've heard people who have gluten allergies here have gone over to England and to Italy and had pizzas over there with no issues. So You know, it's the food that we're eating here. That's people think I want to travel just to become a passport bro. The biggest reason I want to travel, the biggest reason I want to travel is in eventually move out the country is because of the food that they're poisoning us with. And that's what's causing all this stuff. It might even be linked to autism and all that kind of stuff, right? So that's all that, and the tap water and all that. Yeah, it's all that. Yeah. So all right, that's it. Yeah, it's the chemicals. It's the chemicals, air quality, and I think your body is having all these people's bodies are having a reaction to it. I mean, now people are you can't even be in the presence of a peanut. People having some allergic reaction. It's crazy. I just don't believe. I just don't believe that any of it's natural or naturally occurring. That's just my opinion. So, yeah, food in the U.S. is horrible. We'll leave it off on that note. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your family. Get ready for the new year. Much love and peace, y'all. Take care.